We are back. We have week 3 of the AEL. I have Morgie joining me again. Morgie, how have you been?
I've been good, thank you, Jake. How have you been?
Not bad. Just trying to remember how to recenter myself, and it's that way. I'm a pro. Yeah, no, it's been fun. Last week was good. The Morgie curse continued with a bunch of game 5s, but we'll see if it'll be as exciting today.
I think we had a pretty good mix last week because we had in UNSW style, we did have a sweep there and we had a 1-3 as well. But yeah, a couple of full-length series definitely made things interesting.
Yeah, no, it was a fun one. But I mean, it wouldn't be possible without our sponsors. So why don't you quickly thank them before we get started?
Yeah, of course. So we have, first but not least, we've got AGON by AOC, the Gaming Monitor partner, who provide the best in-class monitor solutions for gaming and all other needs. And of course, we can't forget Indomie, the noodle partner, made with high-quality flour and select ingredients and spices. A plate of Indomie mee goreng will certainly brighten up your day. Try any one of the flavours available today from your local grocer or, of course, at indomie.com.au.
I could go for some Indomie. It's always it's a tough sponsor to hear all the time around dinner time, but we will survive. This, at least for this week, we got a few interesting matches, starting off with QUT versus... Oh no, we'll have a look at the results first, give you some context before we look into the schedule. Any surprises there for you, Morgie? Because I think it's pretty reasonable where all the standings are.
I mean, it's a bit of a shocker to me that UNSW is sitting in #1 spot there. I wasn't really expecting that one. No, of course, UNSW being such a dominant team and being the winners from last season are sitting up the top. As for surprises, Jake, I feel like this middle pack of teams is quite neck and neck. I feel like a lot of these games, or not just necessarily the games tonight, but just throughout the season, a lot of these teams may switch up in their standings. The teams down the bottom, ANU, UOM, they've had a bit of a rough run, and I guess speaking of University of Melbourne, definitely are in for a bit of a rough game tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah, welcome to the Elite Series up against UNSW. You are right, though. It's interesting, those 4 in the middle of the pack, and we're going to get some separation because at least our final 2 matches, Griffith versus UON and UTS versus USyd, those are going to be close matches, I think. That's going to be a lot of fun, separate out the pack, whereas these first 2 matches, like you were mentioning, UNSW might just slaughter UOM, we'll see. But it's also ANU's chance to get their first win against QUT, who did get reverse swept last week.
Yeah, definitely, and it goes to show that QUT, they have their flaws as well, like any other team. But ANU, they've had their up and downs. I think last season, they had some good wins, they had some good losses, some unfortunate losses as well. QUT are one of those teams that I would look to sit in solidly in that top 4. So I think ANU, they're kind of in for a bit of a run for their money tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. We'll see how they go. It feels like they just haven't been able to find their footing, but it still is early days. I think, not sure if this will be ANU's roster either. I've heard they've been potentially mixing things up a bit, but on the QUT side, it's always Mac, Jacko in front, week in, week out, ready to play their best.
Absolutely, and all 3 players on this roster I consider to be really, really strong in this league. Front, very mechanical player, really great at the solo plays, and I don't know if it's just a play on the names, but I always love looking at Mac and Jacko as a bit of a duo, and they do manage to create some really good team plays within this roster as well. So I think it's really hard to separate this squad in terms of who's the better player, who's the weak link on the team. I think all 3 do manage to shine on their separate.
I feel the same as well. I still feel like Jacko probably has the star player title for them, but they really do feel like a team. Whenever they win, it's all 3 of them playing great. And then even when they lost last week, you really couldn't pin the blame on any one of them. So they're a good team to watch.
Yeah, definitely. And then I think looking at the ANU roster, for example, I think we've got a slightly different dynamic in the sense of the way this roster works. I think Ultimate Duck is the mechanical player on the team. He's the one who's able to create those solo plays, able to flip reset or musty where he can. BkWhatOCE, I think, is a really good support for him as well and able to create, some really good passing plays amongst the two of them. Hazza, I haven't seen too much of. I remember from last season, though, really does well at kind of filling the gap in that team and maybe plays a little bit more of a third-man role. So I think so long as they play solidly and trust one another, they could be in for a shot here.
It's the first time we've seen Hazza in a while. The first 2 weeks we had Shelbit in. And yeah, that's the lineup you can see on screen. They are fielding Ultimate Duck, BkWhatOCE, and Hazza. Hazza's an aggressive player from memory, so he can spice things up a bit.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see the difference between having Shelbit on the team last week versus having Hazza now. But I think Shelbit does play a crucial role in the team as well, so we'll see if Hazza's that replacement tonight.
Shelbit's been very solid. They're going to be very separate players because already you can see Hazza flying in, already getting that aggressive touch, getting another touch with the fast cut, which has opened up the opportunity for Ultimate Duck, but he misses. That's not what you expect.
They're definitely going a little bit wide, but interesting to see how possession is already very, very solidly in ANU's half at the start of this game. QT really struggling to kind of get the ball out of their half right now, just being rushed, just being challenged instantly. They're going to have to put on some aggression themselves if they want to get out of this.
Well, here's their chance, but they didn't really follow up on it. Just immediately hard cleared back from ANU. This has certainly been a great opening minute for them.
Yeah, definitely, and I think that'll put the pressure on QUT as well. I think QUT maybe would come into this expecting a win, and not necessarily expecting ANU to come out of it so dominantly. But man of the match already, our replacement for the night, or the man we haven't seen play in a little while, Hazza coming out with the first goal of the game.
Hazza's been playing great. He's got that sub energy. You have subs either do absolutely nothing and sit as third man, or absolutely ball chase and carry their team. And he's chosen the second option.
Oh, for sure. We love a super sub. And we're going to see straight off the bat in retaliation, Jacko get a nice easy tap in there, coming off the back of a demo as well. No one to really challenge him on the save.
Off the kickoff, it's disappointing. BkWhatOCE a bit too slow to the ball as well. Maybe a little bit asleep after getting a good opening goal. That's certainly very disappointing for them. We know how far that opening goal can go in terms of momentum.
Oh yeah, definitely, and to be immediately scored, to immediately equalise as well would be really disheartening for ANU to lose that 1-goal lead. Nonetheless, we see the ball go back down into the corner of QT. Mac trying to get it out of the corner, but quick challenge by Hazza centres it. Can't get the shot off though because front save.
Maybe this is QUT starting to wisen up to ANU's aggression. They certainly look surprised, you're right. They may have underestimated this matchup a bit because Hazza's still coming and flying for everything.
Yeah, I feel like I love seeing this kind of play where there's not in a bad way, but there's not much thought going into the rushes. It's just a lot of instant rushes, a lot of jumps, a lot of challenges really quick as well. And I think that's definitely catching QUT off guard here.
It's a great way to cause an upset. It's tough to upset a team if you're just like sitting back, just waiting, hoping they're going to mess up. It's also hard to upset them when you're letting in too many goals. Jacko gets his second off another counterattack.
Yeah, very quickly seeing the downside of instant challenging and instant rushing is leaving your third man back by himself, unable to take on 2 or 3 players at once, and exactly what we saw there led to an easy goal.
We'll see. They've immediately gone back to the aggression. They're not bothered too much at all, and there's still so much time left in this game. We're not even halfway yet.
Sure, and given a best of 5, there's a little bit of opportunity for some trial and error. There's, rush this first game. If this doesn't work, maybe play a little bit more tactically and a little bit slower in the second game if UT managed to win this one. But it'll be interesting to see how ANU respond here.
And you were playing a bit too quick maybe in their defense as well. Even Hazza going for that crazy pre-jump in the midfield. They're certainly bringing the aggression every part of the pitch. We'll see if it works out or not.
Sure, massive bang to send the ball back down the other end, but BkWhatOCE is there to get the ball into the corner, but Mac with a really quick challenge. Ball, a lot of back and forth right now, a lot of neither team holding possession, I guess. As we can see, Front's going to go up for a shot now. Mac comes over the top of him for the steal. Probably exactly what he needed to get a little bit of extra power on that ball there.
Got a lot of extra pace into that open net. Ultimate Duck going on a bit of a cruise to the big boost. Big mistake gets punished and the lead extends to 2.
Yeah, definitely. Got to be chasing those pad lines rather than relying on the big boost pads in some of these games, because we're seeing both teams get caught off guard back in defense. So if you're out of position, if you're not rotating well, you're going to get caught off.
It looks like QT have really figured out their defense, and these counterattacks are still very dangerous. That was almost a goal in itself. ANU struggling in the defense here. QT in front of their net. Can't score though.
Yeah, good composure from Ultimate Duck there to not panic too hard with all 3 of QT's players in net ready to take a shot. So big props to him to manage to get that save there on low boost. The Ultimate Duck now with the challenge, sending the ball back into QT's half, but again, just instantly sent back the other direction.
QT finding their groove. ANU still playing aggressive though. The chance is just not quite as good as they used to be. QT sharpening up. You can see Hazard on the ball, lots of boost, gets it center. No one's there though.
Stats are really telling as to, we're talking about ANU's aggression, but you've got to aggress smartly. You've got to aggress in a way that's going to result in goals. I would say QT, maybe not so aggressive in the midfield, but their 9+ shots to ANU's 2 shots at the moment is really telling us how aggressive they are actually in front of the goal.
That is really surprising, isn't it? It feels like they should have so many more shots, but no, not quite. We'll see if they can get a goal in the final seconds, but Front way too calm and collected. It clears it out. Time is just ticking down. It looks like QT going to take out game 1.
Yep, and very well deserved as well. They managed to hold themselves a lot better than ANU was in that game. And yeah, we were talking about ANU's aggression at the start of the game and how that, they came out of the gates like ready to go, but I feel like they're not aggressing tactically. They're just hitting the ball away. They're challenging and not being ready for a second man to actually follow up with that challenge as well, and just losing the ball. So yeah, QT definitely deserved the win there.
Very well played from QT. Very even affair as well. All 3 players really having a big impact in that game. And it's disappointing for ANU. They had the first goal. They really had QT on the back foot in the first half of that match, but they just weren't able to keep it up.
Yeah, definitely caught QT off guard at the start there, but I think QT managed to adapt really well and recognize that. And yeah, definitely playing as the better team in that first game, but hopefully ANU can come up in this second match.
We'll see what what new game plan they have, or if it's just more of the same. I hope it's more of the same. I really liked the aggressive style. I think they just needed to keep their defense together while they're at it.
Yeah, for sure. You can see ANU caught on the back foot a little bit more here. Nobody back in net. Just get the save. Ultimate Duck just getting the slightest of touches on that. Massive challenge on Front as well. We'll see the ball go back up ANU's side. Hazard with a shot on net, but Front there with the save.
Feels like ANU are causing some problems here. Jacko, like he was almost missing there. Hazard, but now look how much trouble Metis is in. No one has any boost. This counterattack is in full force, but Front messes up the shot.
I feel like the challenge came there a little bit too early before Metis had the chance to rotate back, and that's where I knew really need to be careful, because their third man's definitely getting caught out really early here, and giving QUT way too many opportunities to make a nice, easy shot, I would say.
Does feel like it. QT still struggling to balance this aggression. Here comes Jacko with the skills. Oh, it's a 1v3. Oh, and he finishes it beautifully. Class from Jacko.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the start of this match, you called Jacko that, that star player of this team, or the player with that opportunity, or that, the skill to be the star player, and that's exactly the kind of player I want to see out of him. was a massive goal.
He's certainly the highlight man. I mean, he's very consistent at scoring goals like that. Makes him look absolutely easy. Here's Metis' chance. It does go too high. Hazard's on the follow-up though, and that was a big demo. Hazard equalizes.
Perfect. We're seeing, again, another different type of aggression in the physical play in the demos. Ultimate Duck absolutely taking out that goalie there to give Hazard the opportunity to shoot on net.
Well played. Now it's kind of the reverse of the last game. Very quick equalizer for ANU this time.
Absolutely. We're going to see another opportunity there for Metis to take a shot at net, but just caught a little bit too early. See front, take the ball up the wall, massive touch to send the ball down the other end. Metis can't quite get the touch, but gets the save. Nonetheless, we're going to see Mac take another shot off the back of that and score for UT.
They're still struggling with this scramble defense. Metis, I mean, it's a good save, but very difficult for Ultimate Duck to do anything, and Mac just finds the open net.
Yeah, definitely. Metis caught on the back foot there, unable to kind of... When you're going for a save, you want to still clear the ball out of net, out of shooting opportunity, and he just had to rush the touch there, which is fair enough. Managed to get the first save, but didn't get the follow-up. See the ball go back down the end of UT. Metis with the touch to follow it up here. Going to take a shot, but gets blocked as well.
His front, good touch. Pinch off the side, follows it himself. Gets Ultimate Duck to the 50, but no teammates there to follow up. Now it's ANU's turn. Hazard is so quick to follow those always. Ultimate Duck gets a touch even with low boost, and now Metis comes in as the third. Pressure's on. Everyone's throwing themselves at the ball. It's completely open, but the rotations. They get punished for the double commit.
I was a little bit confused there. It looked like all three ANU players were ready to take the shot on net. And we had no one from QUT in net to get the save. The shot went wide nonetheless. See front with a massive bang to get the ball up, down, to get the ball up back down the other end. But again, we're just seeing a lot of midfield play here. The ball's going back and forth. Neither team really holding too much possession at the moment.
Pressure is on ANU though. They are at the goal down. Feels like they certainly have the potential to find it at a moment's notice. QT playing very quick in the midfield here. Could backfire for them though. They are a bit overcommitted, but keeping things together for now.
Really managing to keep things together. See front, centering the ball. Jacko with a shot on net. Goes a little bit too high, but Ultimate Duck's there for the save anyway. Still managing to keep possession. Mac tries to center it as well, but gets blocked on the goal line.
Ultimate Duck taking his time. Now, UT back into offense. ANU might get a chance here. Ultimate Duck's got a lot of time, but Jacko can read him too well. They like to do the same plays. Jacko knew he'd definitely go to the wall for that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, we're not seeing too many smart passes right now. We're not seeing too many, I was going to say too many team plays, but I feel like Ultimate Duck was going for the pass there to Metis. Just a little bit too forward in front of him. You see Hazard taking the ball to the corner as well. Heavy first touch though, unable to keep control of it.
Unable to. They're setting up the pressure. Jacko gets a big clear. Stalling time. It's going to work out for them with 40 seconds left. Block is in their favor. You can see ANU, they're setting up. They know it's tied and they've already been aggressive, so this will be an exciting last 30 seconds if they can get into their group.
Yeah, absolutely. 30 seconds nonetheless. ANU need to score now if they want to stay in this match, or if they want to stay in this series at all, because, you know, UT take out this win, we're going to game 3, we're going to the final game, potentially, of the series. ANU need to score right now.
And Ultimate Duck might get one chance. We had no boost. Had to go defensive. They're going to have to keep this ball up on 0 seconds, but it's so tough against QUT. They're so quick. They slam the ball against the ground and go 2-0 up in this best of 5.
Yeah, it goes to show how composed QUT are in the air. I feel like that's something that really does separate these players. I think Ultimate Duck is a player who's quite comfortable in the air and able to manipulate his car in a way to keep control of the ball when he's going up for a really high aerial or going for a flip reset or something like that. And I feel like that's something that all three players on this QUT side do well, but sometimes we get ANU players looking a little bit lost and, you know, unsure of where to actually take the ball when they're that high up.
And that game was certainly Jacko feeling very good. 56 touches compared to his teammates in the low 20s. He, scored that absolute highlight clip, which was the difference maker. So big plays out at Jacko, and we'll see if he can continue it to close out the series.
Absolutely. And again, just going by the statistics as well, we saw, we saw QUT's 11 shots to ANU's 3. Just really telltale of how these sides are performing right now in front of actually, I guess in terms of the accuracy of their shooting as well. Whether or not the scoreboard is ultimately reflective of that, I think ANU they managed to defend fairly well in that game, but just the shooting accuracy is off when you're down the other end.
Oh, is that an own goal? I thought this was a goal from Mac, but it was actually just completely into his own net. Oh, he lands onto it. That is rough.
Look, we'll take it. We'll take it for ANU right now. We want to see ANU take a game here. We want to see this series go a little bit longer. Sweeps are, like I said in previous weeks, sweeps are never fun to watch. They're never fun to cast either. So I would be pretty pleased to see an ANU game win here. And, you know, it's a decent start.
Those are the kind of goals you get from the kind of crazy aggression we've seen out of Hazard, honestly, in particular. It can cause big surprises for your opponents. And I guess Mac was surprised enough to forget which way he was meant to go.
For sure, for sure. You're going to see Mac with an opportunity here. Gets a quick touch off to the center. Shot on net as well. Unable to score. Mac just there to get there in time to get the ball, get to the ball to get the save.
ANU are playing well, but something is stopping them from getting shots on goal. Both games we've seen, I mean, they've been very aggressive. They've had plenty of possession, but only really 2 shots apiece. And then even there, just absolutely sitting there, completely open net, and no one's there to take the shot.
Yeah, I think it's just, I don't know. It's really hard to tell what exactly it is. I don't think there's anything in particular to pinpoint. I think there's a few things that, you know, could use a little bit of working on. I think rotations are a little bit off, ball control's a little bit off. Just, you know, playmaking is a little bit off as well, but there's nothing severely wrong either. I think they just need a little bit of tweaking in the way they're
here we go. Oh, what a save! Oh, Hazard thought it was open, took all the time being careful not to miss it, and then a crazy save from Jacko. And now on the other side, Jacko gets the goal with the assist of an ANU player, I'm pretty sure. He won't be complaining.
148 k's an hour is the speed that came off ANU just then. I guess technically, you know, no, but not really, because it was going in the way. But yeah, definitely a lot of power on that shot.
That's ANU have just not been able to run away with a strong lead. They've been keeping all these games close, but it's unable to create that separation.
Yeah, definitely, we might see a little bit of separation here. Metis to the corner, gets a small touch on the ball. Ultimate Duck, again, centering the ball, but Hazard not there. Look, I think fair enough, though. I don't blame Hazard for not being there for that one. That would be quite the high third-man push. But I'm going to see front. Managed to try and take a shot here. Can't quite get it past Ultimate Duck there.
No, not quite. UT continuing the pressure. Everyone from ANU kind of flipping past the ball. Run the halfway point. This is match point as well. So pressure is on. ANU can't afford to lose this.
No, definitely not. If they want to stay in this series, they've got to win this game. They've got to win the next, and they've got to win one more. They've got to pull off the reverse sweep, which I would say is difficult, but we've seen it in week 1 and week 2 so far, so I wouldn't be too surprised. And this is a great start to that reverse sweep, isn't it, Jake?
I mean, where did Hazard come from here? Gets the first touch, and then just dunks Mac. Way too fast. If any team's going to get reverse swept, it might be the same one that got reverse swept last week.
Oh, wouldn't that be quite the tale? You see Ultimate Duck with a shot Metis as well. Can't get it to Metis. Can't quite get the touch on it for the shot. Metis in with the aggression though, immediately trying to put the pressure on. Ultimate Duck just cutting off Hazard there, but probably a good touch nonetheless. Can't result in a goal though.
And you are so scrappy, so many double commits, so much confusion. Kind of works out in their favor sometimes. Even here, Jacko completely confused. Has a pass everyone. Looks like he'll get a touch middle or go himself the bench. Oh, front gets the save. It might not be enough. Ultimate Duck comes in for the finish. And finally, ANU have a 2-goal lead in this series.
I don't know what was more impressive. The coming off the roof like that is something I haven't seen too much from Hazza. For Metis to perfectly time that pinch, the save from front as well. That was all just a timeline of really, really good plays there. But yeah, we're seeing ANU 3-1 up in this game, definitely catching QT off guard, and I'm not too sure what QT are doing differently right now. They're just yeah, ANU's just put the pressure on.
ANU looking good. I don't know either. QT maybe not as clinical. They've only gotten a goal. It certainly feels like ANU have stepped up in a big way in their offense though.
For sure, for sure. And I think, you know, there's a lot of factors to this, and I think one thing that I always look to is kind of like the mental factor of it, the going into a game 3 knowing you've already won the first 2 games, knowing it just takes just one more game to really be to a team's downfall, because, you know, you start to relax a little bit, you think you've got it in the bag, and then ANU comes back with some banger goals. Yeah, QUT really need to be careful with how much they relax.
Does seem that way. That goal did feel a little too easy for QUT. Here might be another one completely over Haz's head. This is a dangerous bounce as well. Gets a great touch. It's over Mac as well. An Ultimate Duck. And very sticky here. So many touches. Stay close to this ball. It's winding down the clock.
Yep, sure. We see Hazza taking the ball to the corner as well, trying to get a pass off into the center, into net, goes a little bit too wide.
No one's home.
With the save, we're seeing everyone push forward, no third man back, but front just with no boost, unable to get the ball back down the other end quickly enough.
Big miss. Sets up Mac though. 8 seconds left. There's one goal in it. QT going to be pushing players forward, but they bump each other. Meta's just killing time, and ANU take out game 3.
The bumps coming in clutch right at the end of that game, definitely securing the win there for ANU. But yeah, I think we've got a bit of a series on our hands, Jake.
I mean, look at the shots this time around. Can't even count. 13 shots to 3. ANU in the driver's seat, starting the potential reverse sweep.
Yeah, definitely. They flipped that game on its head. That was a complete 180 from what we saw from both teams in the first 2 games. QT were dominating the midfield. They were putting on so many more shots to ANU's, and then ANU in that game in that final game, they're just able to, you know, take the lead early on, and then, you know, to keep scoring was just a completely different game to what we saw at the start.
Completely different indeed. Very quick in the break again. Neither team wanting to wait the full minute. Straight into game 4. Pressure is still on ANU, but might be better for them that way.
Yeah, definitely. I think ANU need to hold their own here. They need to not let their guard down, I guess, and not let QT score too early here, because QT will start to gain that momentum. We know they can be very dangerous.
As this series progresses, QUT will have that reverse sweep in the back of their minds. It's painful getting reverse swept. It's not something you forget easily.
No, definitely not. And I mean, out of all teams tonight, this... Oh, actually, no. There's another series I probably wouldn't expect there to be a reverse sweep on. But yeah, definitely not expecting this to be a reverse sweep given how QUT were playing the first 2 games. But it's looking all the more likely the longer this series goes on.
Not even just the first 2 games, just heading into this week. QUT have just been looking so good. ANU have really been struggling, but with Hazza, the absolute super sub, they are a brand new roster.
Definitely playing very well, has brought the aggression that this ANU side really needed. But in saying that, we're seeing a lot of aggression out of Jacko. Doing it all himself, gets the demo, goes up the backboard, scores as well. What a player.
Super well played. Keeps his composure together through all the smoke after the demo, and just finds that nice Doomsday dish for the finish.
Not too often we see a Doomsy in this series, or sorry, in this league. But I mean, we saw one last week. I can't remember which game it was, but there was one last week. Nonetheless, very very clean goal to see.
Very clean indeed. He's front with a powerful shot. Hazard clears it to the side. Big dunk as well. But I'm a bit worried for ANU. I'm especially worried after that miss. Mac is completely open for front. Who misses it, but then drops down for the accidental own goal. That's a shame.
Oh no, not again. Not again, not again. Came off Metis, I think. Yes, it did. Unfortunate to see. Yeah, ANU, we're just seeing the aggressive game go back and forth, the aggressive tactics go back and forth. QT definitely stepping it up a lot more this game than they were last game. I feel like I obviously percentage-wise have no idea, but the ball's just been in QT's half for I reckon 90% of this match.
But ANU are struggling to find the finish. They've been struggling all series long. It was only last game they really found the secret. But maybe this is just QT stepping up and shutting that window.
Yeah, definitely. ANU looking very awkward in some of these plays as well. Both Metis and Hazard I've noticed. Yeah, just getting caught a little bit in the midfield, unsure of what to do with some of their touches. Hazard with a massive bang downfield though. Mac there to so almost don't call it, but manages to carry the ball around the other way instead.
Oh, there's a powerful shot. Gets cleared to the side. You're right. It's definitely some interesting 50s happening. Everyone seems to be a bit surprised. Complete miss coming out as well. Double commit. It's getting very scrappy to close out this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like this game's going to give me a heart attack with the amount of close shots we've seen, with the amount of almost own goals and the 50s that have gone so close to net. But Ultimate Duck fighting back for ANU now, able to score one goal to close that gap just a little bit with under a minute 50 left to go.
Cool, calm and collected from Ultimate Duck. Awesome finish. It's going to keep things exciting heading in with final stages of this game.
Definitely. Ultimate Duck getting challenged in the corner here by front. Both players, again, playing that really scrappy game. Ultimate Duck trying to take the ball to the corner, gets the almost accidental demo there on Mac. Going to see another couple of shots come out, but ultimately not resulting in a goal.
Fantastic challenge from Hazard. He's got no boost. He gets it over one as well.
Oh no!
No teammates again. Oh, it's been tough for ANU. Metis is all alone. He gets flicked. Jacko, he doesn't have the angle, but he's going for the double touch, but he gets faked. Ultimate Duck, he's got no boost here. It relieves the pressure.
Shots missing by millimeters down both ends of the field right now. Saves happening down both ends of the field as well. This game is getting quite intense with under a minute left. ANU need to do something right now. We're going to see Hazard take the ball upfield. Ultimate Duck take it to the corner. Hazard with the demo. Metis can't get the shot off. Mac with the save.
That was an insane save. And now on to the counterattack. Hazard gets the clear, but it goes straight to Jacko. Ultimate Duck gets the touch, but it's straight to front. Both these teams, no one's getting the touches they want. Some good passing play. Tries to get its Ultimate Duck, but QT just playing so quickly, shutting down these defensive passes.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Oh no!
It's really unfortunate. I was going to say it's unfortunate that ANU have had so many opportunities, but QT have been playing such good defense, but that's even more unfortunate. We've seen a few own goals this series, but that one's definitely the most, I guess, the saddest we've seen tonight.
Team bumps are rough. That was sad. They put in so much effort. They need a goal pretty much instantly. It doesn't look like it's going to happen though. QT have gotten past the aggression of ANU. I'm proud of ANU. They're certainly the best we've seen of them this season, but QT are going to take them out in 4 games.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm not biased. I think the team that plays better should be the team that wins. Ultimately, QT did deserve that win there, but I'm so disappointed for ANU. I think that was a real shame. They had a lot of opportunities at the end of that, could have taken it to a game 5, and the own goal at the end, just securing the win for QT is super unfortunate for ANU.
Very unfortunate, but that is Rocket League. Those things can happen, especially in such a scrappy and chaotic game. So I still hope ANU takes some positives from that. That was still fun.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, we've seen them play, like, I mean, 2 weeks already this season, seen them play last season when they were a part of the league as well. And that's definitely one of the better nights I've seen from them. They've come up against a tough opponent, but I think they managed to polish this play style they've got going on at the moment. I think they're in for a chance to potentially make a top 4.
QT, absolutely. No, they're a very solid team. They're going to be very disappointed that they lost last match as well. So it's good to see a bit of a fire lit up under them.
Yeah, definitely. I think both of these teams could go far, so I'm excited to see where they go in the following weeks.
All right, awesome. Well, we are going to head to a break. But coming up, we got UNSW, #1 in the leaderboards, taking on UOM. That'll be a fun one, probably just for one team. So we'll be right back soon. Welcome back. We just had a short break after watching QUT take out ANU. I was expecting a 3-0, maybe QUT well as well. We'll get to chat to Mac and hear what he had to think about it. What do you think of the series, man?
Yeah, it was good. It was fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did enjoy it actually. It was really good.
Wait, were you expecting it to be a bit easier? Because ANU, they looked a lot better than they have the last 2 weeks.
I don't know. I feel like for the first game of it, like the season against every team, you don't really know what to expect because you don't know how much practice they're putting in. But we did think we were going to sweep them. So, but obviously we didn't. It is what it is.
What do you think happened in that game 3? What was the difference for you guys?
I think we just kicked back a little too much and then, yeah, got the best of us.
I'm more curious about last week, man. The reverse sweep. Any thoughts on that?
It was a rough week. Let's just say that. Although to be honest, I don't know. We haven't been putting in practice or like any hours into the game, so I think karma came back and hit us. So, but yeah, no, it wasn't very enjoyable.
That's fair enough. And have you guys put in some more practice in this last week? Because you had a couple of really good shots, a couple of really like game-winning saves in that last series just then. How's training been?
I haven't been, I mean, as a team, no, honestly, we haven't. But I think all of us have been playing twos and stuff on the side, so that always helps. But yeah, no scrims, which we definitely need to do.
Awesome. Well, I hope you grind up for next week. How do you think you'll go against Griffith?
Oh, it's going to be a wipe in the park. It's going to be easy as we got this.
Cool.
Fingers crossed.
All right, thanks for hopping on, Mac. We'll hopefully get to chat to you next week after a 3-0.
Too easy. See you then.
See ya. Players never want to get into the details of getting reverse swept.
No.
I guess I can't blame them.
I was about to say, I wonder why. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Yeah, blame him either. That's probably obviously the worst outcome. I'd rather lose 0-3 than get reverse swept. So that's fair enough.
Oh, well, he seems pretty chill about everything. I'm sure they're very confident they'll be able to make top 4, and then from there, we'll have to see. They got so much better at the end of last season, so if we see something similar, they could be a force to be reckoned with. Yeah,
definitely, and they've had some tough games early on. Like UON, to be reverse swept by UON is, I guess, kind of fair enough. UON, another strong team, another top 4 team, so to face them early on is difficult, but I think that they may have some easier series. They may still have some difficult series to go in this season as well, so keen to see how they play out.
I don't think they've played at UNSW yet, which Melbourne have the unfortunate privilege of doing this week. We'll see though. I think UOM have changed their roster quite a bit, maybe actually. LeBeastman subbed in, so they've been having a bit of a rotating roster. So we'll see. They're going to need something special to take on UNSW.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's definitely an interesting change. I think LeBeastman, from memory, correct me if I'm wrong, LeBeastman subbed in mid-series last week, I think.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And almost came in as that, like we were talking about super subs before, came in as that super sub, came in as that really aggressive player and really caused quite the fuss. And ultimately, that result, I think that resulted in UOM's game. They lost 3-1, but for them to steal that game at the end there, in that, I think it was game 3, they managed to steal a game. So kind of like we just saw with ANU, I would attribute that to the LeBeastman actually.
Yeah, it was an impressive showing. He's earned his core spot for this week at least. Mm-hmm. And UNSW just fielding their normal roster, Diggs, Steve, and Tatagane. Tatagane was a bit off the rails last week, going for a bunch of demos, even his teammates sometimes. So hopefully he's shooting a bit straighter this time.
I don't know. I feel like he got a bit of a taste for blood last week, and we could definitely see him yeah, the really hyper aggressive play going in for the demos and the bumps and everything, not even phased about where the ball was. So interesting to see if he continues that tactic this week. But I think this is really rough for UOM. They've lost their first 2 games of this season. To come up against UNSW this early in week 3 is very, very rough.
Looks like we're jumping straight into the match. UNSW win the kickoff instantly. It's a lot of pressure on UOM here. They're up against the absolute favorites. UOM bottom of the scoreboard as well, so lots to prove.
Yeah, definitely a lot to prove, and I think this would be upset of the season if they, I guess it's hard for any of these teams to take on UNSW. I think we've got a couple of challenges, but anyone kind of sitting outside of that top 4 at the moment would have a really hard time taking any games on UNSW. But I think that it's hard to call what UOM needs to do here. UNSW, they're just so dominant. They're great solo players. They're great team players. They're highly mechanical. Yeah, it'd definitely be a tough beat here to get many goals or even a game off.
I think so as well, but for the moment, UOM looking pretty solid. Shut down everything UNSW have brought their way. Playing very quick in defense, very calm, controlling their boost as well. We'll see if they can turn it into anything in the offensive half.
Yeah, definitely great challenge off the roof from Galaxy there, and Virgo to get a touch, to get a really nice block as well. Unable to turn it into any opportunity on net. See the ball go loose in the midfield here. Steve now making an attempt on net, but again gets blocked by Virgo.
No chance. Not just yet anyway. Virgo plays aggressive. UNSW certainly, I was about to say on the back foot, but then a perfect counterattack from Diggs off the back of a great pass from Steve. Gets them their first goal.
Yeah, UNSW just playing their own game right now. Very, very chilled. I don't think they're on the back foot, but I don't think it's due to a high amount of pressure. I think they've come into this fairly relaxed and taking it quite easy. But just as I've said that, we're going to see Tadagane go off the roof, gets a block. Can't get the shot off though.
This feels like UNSW's bread and butter. They're very consistent, control the pressure team, but they can also mix in really quick third man pushing forward to kind of get those goals. So they're really in no rush. They like to wait for those opportunities to present themselves.
Yeah, definitely. No need to cause any unnecessary rush and throw themselves out of rotation just for an opportunity on net. I think they know that they can take it slow, take it easy, and take it very controlled here. See LaBeastman though, our man of the match last week, trying to get the ball up the field, can't get it past AGON, but Virgo with a shot on net with no defenders to be seen. We're going to see UOM equalise here.
That was too easy, wasn't it? And Diggs has no excuse. The new demo update is out. You know which side of the field you're spawning on, but he looked completely lost.
Yeah, I wonder if many players tonight have actually realised that, because admittedly, and I'm going to sound so dumb when I say this, but when we were, well, just before the stream started, I was trying to work out what the difference was with the demo update, and I thought it was to do with the actual demo itself, so I didn't even pick up on it at first, even when it was like right in front of me, I'm being told about it. So, you know, maybe he just hadn't noticed, but I have a feeling his players would be a bit more on top of it than I am at the moment.
He may have been admiring it. It is also very quick, like you're saying, so it's not the easiest thing. Well, here's a great pre-jump and an amazing shot. Tadagane showing some style.
Yeah, great pass from Steve as well to be able to target Tadagane in the air like that. Really, really nice. Really, really clean goal out of UNSW.
It is all in the pass, isn't it? That was a fantastic pass. Tada was trusting his teammate there, and Steve did not disappoint. In fact, he even gets a solo goal himself on the next kickoff.
Steve showing off his mech here. Great little touch to get the flip off of that first touch, off the kickoff even. Yeah, just goes to show how talented these players are mechanically, and it's It's weirdly quiet to me, this game, Jake. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of fighting for the ball. It seems like UOM are taking their shots, UNSW is taking their shots, UNSW are getting definitely more shots on net than UOM are getting right now, but it's strangely... I don't know how to put my finger on it, but it's weirdly quiet.
I know what you mean. It's less scrappy, right? Like it's a very controlled kind of game, but that is what UNSW like to do, and you can see the floodgates are starting to open. They like that controlled style where they just pick up the pace and get the goals when they need to.
Yeah, for sure. It's got that kind of like freestyle event vibe to me. It seems like you know, one team takes a shot while the other's kind of sitting in net, then it goes back down the other way. I think UOM maybe a little bit scared or a little bit unsure of how to tackle UNSW, so sitting back in net is kind of the safest way to play this, and then UNSW are just, like we said, that kind of controlled, safe play where they're just taking the shots they know how to hit and not really challenging too much in the midfield.
Oh, that was a bit sketchy. They make it work. Steve gets his chance. Galaxy, big dunk for him though. Now Diggs, great backboard. Everyone's double committing. No one's hitting the ball. The UNSW starting to have a bit too much fun, I think.
Yeah, I would never recommend a double commit in any game unless you're 4-1 up. Then it's a bit of a free for all. Then it's go for any shot you want. Steal the ball off your teammates if you want. If you know Steve's going to take a shot and Tata wants to steal it, then look, I don't blame him when they're up by 3. But I'm gonna see. Oh, sorry.
It's kind of ridiculous though, because they still don't get scored on even when they do it. Like their recoveries are just so quick that they seem to be able to get away with it, even if it was 0-0.
Yeah, for sure. And like, I mean, in this league, these players are very experienced competitively. Tata, Steve, they've played many a tournament before, and they, you know, with playing those tournaments, you develop that experience. You know how to rotate quickly. You know how to get back when you need to. So I feel like, yeah, you're right. They do have those opportunities where they can double commit without sacrificing their defense.
Well, there's a nice consolation goal for the Beastman. Right as we were talking about how difficult it is for UNSW to get scored on. They might get a third here, actually. As I say that, not quite. Might even be UNSW on the counter-attack here. Steve's got a lot of boost. Tata is out of position. They don't get the goal, but they do get the game win.
Yeah, Tata going for the demo at the end there. Not chasing demos like I thought he may potentially come into this game doing, but we're still seeing a few where he has the opportunity to.
And look, pretty evenly matched here, at least on the stats. UOM certainly getting involved, getting plenty of shots. Definitely not as dire as you might have expected, having our first up against, you know, tied 7th.
Yeah, definitely. UOM have had their fair share of opportunities that game. Again, I don't think UNSW are playing at their hardest. I don't think they're coming into this full force. I think they're going for those kind of stylish shots and those passing plays. They're going for the pre-jumps and the flip resets rather than just the power shots. I think that, yeah, I'm liking how this game is playing out. I think it's interesting seeing them play slow and play controlled and still manage to get the win without rushing too much.
We'll see what Game 2 has to offer. They started pre-jumping already in Game 1. As this series gets more in their favor, they might start to freestyle a bit more, but another kickoff goal. UNSW have gotten a few off this. Just a monster kickoff from Steve, honestly. Just setting Diggs up perfectly for the close cheat.
Yeah, absolutely. It goes to show the power of a solid, well-trained kickoff as well. I know we saw a few instances last week where you have one team with a really nice, clean, perfectly timed speed flip, and another team who are unable to do those kind of speed flips, just getting beaten to the ball on kickoff, and the ball just goes one way. And you know, if your team's not back in defense to be ready for that, then it's an easy goal in there.
Here's UOM's chance. On the counterattack, they find the pass. Felt like UNSW left them a bit of a gap there. Not quite able to capitalize just yet, but it could fill them with some confidence.
definitely. Labeast Man going for the pass to Galaxy there. A nice little 1-2 back and forth between the two players. Getting challenged though. Galaxy goes for the shot on net, but unfortunately just a little bit too far to the side there.
Not able to make it work. There's a nice double. Not able to get the setup needed. That's a big miss from Galaxy. Steve's got a lot of time here, and Tata has the finish into the top corner.
Oh no, unfortunately Galaxy just whipping there. Almost made it back in time to get the save, but Tata just bullying his way through the defenders.
It looked like a steal, honestly, from Tata, but it wasn't. It was actually quite crucial to get that speed. Here's a fake kickoff. Looks like it's working out perfectly. Steve gets the play. Beautiful example of the fake kickoff.
Yeah, absolutely. I love a fake kickoff. I think it's so when you're so focused on the game, and you're so unless your team practices those kind of kickoffs, or you practices being ready for those kind of kickoffs, knowing when they can occur, what kickoff positions result in a fake, I guess. You just get caught so off guard because you're not thinking about what's going to happen. You just think the other team's going to drive the ball, and then you've accidentally hit it down the other end.
It's a bit of a disaster for UOM. Just a minute in and they're 3-0 down already. UNSW not slowing down. Seems like for a second they are out for blood.
Yeah, definitely. UNSW definitely turning up the heat on this game. Tata with just a little tap. Almost didn't seem like he was going for a shot on net there, but nonetheless, none of UOM defenders back in time to be able to get that save.
No, they get their fourth goal. UNSW is starting to run away with it. I hope UOM can recompose. They were very competitive that first match, at least in terms of the stats, especially at the start of the match. And it's certainly feeling very heavily UNSW favored right now.
Yeah, definitely. UNSW kind of showing off the skill they do have a little bit more in the second game, maybe warming into it a little bit more, wanting to get a quick win here. See Tata with 0 boost, still managing to get a pass off to Steve, but Steve gets blocked by Galaxy. Diggs and Steve fighting in the midfield for control of the ball here. But again, we're just going to see the aggressive play come out more from UOM this time. I think maybe more demos could actually help them here to throw UNSW off guard.
I think that's a good strat. I think that's a good underdog strategy to just defend, just win by taking everyone out. Though as I say that, UNSW extending the lead even more. UOM got a bit too aggressive, and that counterattack was clinical.
Yeah, definitely. I can feel UOM's panic here. They're just unsure of what to do, of how to play, how to challenge a team like UNSW, and I can't blame them. They're UNSW obviously quite the terrifying opponent to come up against, and UOM being a newer team this league, maybe not quite knowing what to expect when they're coming up against some of these teams. You got to be able to adapt. You got to be able to change your tactics. You got to learn to which teams to play against aggressively, which teams to play more controlled against, which teams can't hold their own in defense. And UOM, it's just going to take a little bit of time and practice for them to get into that rhythm.
It's a nice goal from Galaxy though. Very quick play. Great backboard from Burgo, and Tata actually too slow to even get a touch on it.
It's not often that I'll hear you say Tata being too slow, but definitely what caught him definitely was to his detriment there, his speed. Steve with a massive pinch off the roof. I almost thought that was going in, but just a little too wide.
A little bit too wide indeed. You can see they're already setting up the pressure again though. Looking good. Steve tries to set it up middle. Not quite. Tata. Well, you can see he's certainly playing a lot quicker now. What's that consolation goal? Not able to get it though.
Like Steve's the reason Tata didn't score just then. Out of everything that went on, Steve just kind of came in with a little bit of a friendly team bump. Steve now with the demos coming out, leaving UOM without a defender in net. Yeah, resulting in another goal.
That's one. Couldn't even find the second one, it seemed. It's a great 50 from Diggs to just force that into the net.
Yeah, absolutely. UNSW playing a lot more aggressive this game as compared to their first game. But yeah, definitely warmed into it a lot more. We've seen some good plays out of UOM though. The Beastman with the ball in the corner there, can't get the shot off. Virgo as well, unable to get a shot. Steve with just a little touch. Trying to get the ball into center, looking for Tata, looking for Diggs maybe. Neither of them able to get that goal though.
No, not quite. Certainly UOM looking for some confidence. Certainly 6-1. They might want to ignore the scoreboard for that, but getting another goal. Galaxy on the board yet again. Things are looking up.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's hard because UOM would definitely be feeling quite disappointed right now. Well, these players would be feeling a little bit disappointed, just like I said, unsure of how to tackle UNSW, but a goal nonetheless is quite a win here. It's just, you know, helping them gain a little bit more momentum to go into this next match, although it'd be hard for them to take out the win in this game.
Does seem that way. 40 seconds left. UNSW absolutely chilling. UOM, they're focused. Feels like they're really practicing, getting ready for game 3 when the scores get reset. It's a bit more of an even playing field. We just saw ANU get their first game win in game 3, so hopefully we can see that here for UOM.
Yeah, definitely. And we saw that with UOM last week, like we said, going into that game 3, being 2 goals down. We've seen them do it before. I absolutely believe that they do have the ability to take a game. UNSW, you know, we've also seen that factor of, you know, a team relaxing when it comes to a game 3. When you're already 2 up and you're in game 3, you know, UNSW could relax a little bit more again, so UOM could have an opportunity.
UNSW honestly looks so good when they relax, so it kind of suits their style, so maybe that is why they're so dominant, is even when teams do typically take their foot off the gas pedal and give the other team a chance, UNSW don't really do that.
No, I think you're right. I think you're definitely right there, and you know, it's tough to see. It's tough to see, but we are going to see sweeps this season if that is how this series does play out. We saw, I think, did you guys have a sweep week 1? We had one last week. There was one week 1, was there?
Yeah, UON swept Melbourne. Melbourne have had a tough time.
Yeah.
They got their first win last week though against UTS, but it's a tough time for your first season in the AEL.
Yeah, definitely. It's easier for the teams who were playing last season, and you know they're familiar with the other teams. They know what to expect. But coming into it as the new kids on the block would definitely be hard.
Massive effort there for Steve. 70 touches, two shots, 4 assists, no goals though. Tata getting MVP for his effort there. See what UOM have to offer. They still are getting plenty of shots. 8 shots when you get smashed like that is honestly pretty impressive.
Yeah, definitely. They are managing to put the pressure on somewhat offensively, but yeah, just UNSW way too strong in defense. They're without having multiple players back in defense, all they need is one player back or one player rotating back to be able to get so many of these saves.
That is what we're seeing. I think some of the players might be having issues, or I might be. I got thrown out of the match, so hopefully it won't be too much longer and we should be back on track for game 3.
Any consolation, I'm glad it's not just me. I may have mildly panicked just then going, hang on, I'm not in the game.
I'm sure they'll figure it out. I saw them wanting like subs or something as well. They were joking of bringing in international talent to carry them, but sadly you only have your people from your uni. You gotta make the most of what you have.
Yeah, gotta work with what you got. But yeah, going into game 3 now, just making sure we've had no subs from me, the team. I'm not 100%. I'm trying to work it out now. Got 1, 2, 3. I'm counting players. I think we're all the same. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what UOM brings to the table now, how they're actually going to tackle this. They obviously they need to get a win if they don't want to be swept. They don't want to be swept again. They want to get a game at least off UNSW, so I think they're really going to come out fighting.
Nah, Jeremy's back and in action.
Oh.
The Beastman. subbed out. It's the reverse of what happened last week in Game 3 as well. So we'll see how it goes.
That'd actually be quite funny to see if that's the sub is what results in a game win for them as well, like last week. But tricky when Tata is playing the way he's playing.
Yeah, I don't know if a sub's enough. You gotta run to Tata's house and pull out his internet cable or something. It's, I think they need more drastic measures at this point.
I think honestly, need to take Diggs and Steve's cables out as well. All three of them are just playing absolutely on point without seeming like they're even sweating too much about it. But it'd be interesting to see the difference Jeremy makes in this game.
We'll see. From memory, the Beastman was that much more aggressive player when he came out, but Jeremy's starting out flying here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's... Oh, actually, no. I was going to say, when you've got a team that we've been talking about how controlled UNSW is. I love the car noise, by the way. When you've got such a controlled team, you need to play aggressively. You need to bring out players that are going to just run at the ball as hard as they can. So if Jeremy's able to do that, maybe it'll cause a bit of a stir.
It's what ANU were almost able to do. I do want to see it as well. Make UNSW uncomfortable, but it's a big ask.
Yeah, definitely hard to make this team uncomfortable. Definitely hard to phase them. And I'm keen to see them come up against some of those top 4 teams later on in the season to see them, how they react and how they change their style a little bit, because so far it's every single week it's just being full pump and collect.
I don't think UNSW plan on changing that. It's tough to force them. And they can just score so many goals without even seeming to try. Oh no! That is a rough own goal.
Oh no, I actually think that... Oh, it's tricky to say. I feel like that's even more rough than Ultimate Ducks in the last series, but you definitely don't want to be giving UNSW any free goals.
That was a banger. Into the far corner. Teammate at net couldn't even save it. That was a beautiful own goal.
Oh, Diggs with the reset as well. It's funny because Diggs I would consider to be a really solid player, but I haven't seen as much mechy play or as many like resets or musties or anything like that, for example, out of him in comparison to Tata and Steve. So good to see that he's taking those opportunities as well, making those attempts on net.
Especially when he first joined the team, he was just like third man specialist, but I think it's hard not to be inspired when you have Steve and Tata on your team.
Yeah, agreed. I feel like the 2 games I subbed in for casting last season, I definitely got that vibe from the roster. It felt like the Tata and Steve show and Diggs was there to kind of fill the gaps. And he did kind of get pushed back to that third man role, but definitely stepping up and playing a lot more aggressive offensively this season so far.
Well, it's certainly paying off well. Looking as dominant as ever is UNSW, if not better. We'll see. Still giving some chances for UOM though. Steve barely gets it over the top. They're not going to be able to keep Jeremy out. The super sub gets the first goal.
Jeremy with a massive amount of power on that shot, perfectly rotating his car to get the touch right off the corner and able to shoot at net 103 kilometers an hour.
It's not bad. That's what they need. 2.5 minutes left. Just over halftime. They've kept the deficit manageable. It's just 2 goals. As I say that was really close to being 3. But we'll see. Certainly still in this.
Definitely. Galaxy taking the ball off the wall now, kind of catching UNSW off guard, but again, just their rotations are so quick. All 3 players were up in offense just then and somehow managed to beat UOM back when UOM managed to cut the ball. But they're just so quick on the rotations, so solid at playing defense as well.
Oh, it's a massive touch. It's a bit of a miss. Diggs has a lot of time here. Gets the double touch. Very well read from Jeremy. Gets a second clear as well. Oh, it's a big miss from Galaxy though.
Yeah, definitely don't want to be giving away the ball away to UNSW like that in the midfield. We saw another shot off net, just again gone a little bit wide. And Galaxy challenge Steve on the wall though. But with a flip reset, going to carry the ball up towards net, passes it off to Diggs, but Diggs can't get the shot off.
Here's Steve, looking very tricky. Almost got the goal all by himself, but UOM holding on, minute left, they need the goal. There's actually no one in net. Virgo, can he get it center quickly? His teammates pre-jumped, but quite.
Yeah, couldn't quite keep control of the ball on the roof there. It's tricky. When you go on the roof and the controls are reversed, it's hard to keep your composure. Virgo taking the ball off the backboard there, can't get it past Tartagane, taking the ball downfield again. Ball's loose in the center. We're going to see Diggs go for a double though, can't get it past Virgo.
Virgo, cool, calm and collected. Jeremy pops it up to Virgo. Steve puts it to the side. That's a slow shot, but it's going to go in. Jeremy finding an opportunity out of almost nothing, and is going to keep this game close coming into the final 30 seconds.
Yeah, great challenge there. Perfect positioning on that ball any higher, and it was going to bounce out. So massive goal out of UOM to bring this deficit within one goal. 30 seconds left. They have to do something now.
Oh, they've won the kickoff. It's a great start. Virgo's actually going to get a free shot, but Tata blocks it. Can they keep the pressure up? Tata actually completely misses. It's kind of open. Steve scrambles and gets the touches. Great pinch as well to alleviate some pressure. 10 seconds left. They're looking good. They're looking in control. Steve even getting a slow dribble. But here's Virgo. Potentially final chance, but UNSW, they're just playing too well. Keeping it out. Jeremy is keeping this ball up though, has a chance. Virgo, they're slipping over each other. Massive miss from Steve, but the shot into the floor. And UNSW take out the series.
Oh no, I feel like Virgo and Jeremy there was a little bit of miscom. I'm glad the ball didn't just immediately touch the ground when both teammates seemed to be challenging the ball to try and keep that up in the air at the time. It did result in an opportunity, but you need to be careful with that kind of miscommunication when one teammate's on the ball and you bump them like that. You got to be really careful.
It's hard to not have those miscommunications when it's 0 seconds, when you're just scrambling, you're playing way more aggressive than you're used to. It's tough to see, but that's reality. UOM, they get close to winning a game, but not quite. That'll close us out for game 2. After the break, we got Griffith versus UON. That'll be a super close match, I think. Both top of the leaderboard teams. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We've just seen UNSW take down University of Melbourne 3-0. Tiny bit closer in that third game than we were expecting, but overall, I think UNSW, it's just another day in the office for them. We got Diggs ready for an interview in the background to tell us all about it. How'd you find the series?
Not too bad. Same as normal. Just show up, get the job done. And yeah, not too bad.
Fair enough. Yeah, definitely a tough match for UOM. I mean, the first game seemed like you guys were quite relaxed. Am I right? It seemed to be fairly close in some points.
Yeah, I mean, we were just kind of chilling, talking about just uni and stuff. But yeah, I mean, they looked pretty solid for the first couple minutes. They were actually like putting up a pretty strong defense, but yeah, they just weren't able to maintain that throughout the series.
You got UTS up next week. The other new team. How do you think that one will go?
Will probably be one of our hardest matchups yet, I would say. Yeah, definitely one of the most challenging ones. Should be interesting because we haven't played them before in the league. So yeah, looking forward to that one.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I mean, we saw last week Tata, for example, come out with the Zenulous playstyle, the chasing demos and that kind of thing. We didn't see too much of that this week. Did that ever come up in conversation or?
Well, towards the end of game 2, actually, both Steve and Tata switched to KBM. I'm not sure if you guys noticed that, but they did. But yeah, they swapped back to controller by game 3, so wasn't too bad.
They almost seem to play better on KBM sometimes. You guys did that the first season. you were here.
Yeah, we didn't believe Steve was on KBM because he was playing so good.
Yeah, no, literally did not notice. That is impressive. But yeah, Diggs, before we wrap up, we heard you publishing a new Steam game. Do you want to plug that a little bit while you're here?
Yeah, so just in my free time, I've been working on like a first-person puzzle game. It's called Chromatic Conundrum. Should be releasing on Steam towards the start of next year, I think. And it's basically just like a first-person puzzle game where you like manipulate light in order to solve puzzles. So yeah, check it out if you want.
Multi-talented Diggs, good on ya.
Yeah,
Thank
sure.
you.
We'll have to check that out.
All right, well, cheers for hopping on, and good luck next week. Hopefully chat again then.
Thank you.
All right, Diggs, cool as ever after another 3-0, as you expect. I think we have to thank our sponsors after a few good series here, so why don't you take that away, Morgie?
Of course, none of this would be as great as it is without the support from our amazing sponsors. So, of course, first up, we've got AGON by AOC, the Gaming Monitor partner, who provide the best in-class monitor solutions for gaming and all other needs. And do not forget Indomie, the noodle partner, made with high-quality flour and select ingredients and spices. A plate of Indomie mee goreng will certainly brighten up your day. Try any one of the flavors available today from your local grocer, or of course, you can order online at indomie.com.au.
Thank you again to our sponsors. We got Griffith vs UON coming up. This is an exciting one. UON are undefeated at the moment, keeping up their streak of a real comeback after not being able to make top 4 last season. They've come out with a bang.
Definitely, and you know, very, very well-deserved undefeated streak as well. UON are a really strong team, but not to say Griffith isn't either. Was interesting. It was UON particularly having, I know obviously we've seen, this will be our 3rd week of seeing Eminence play, but being that new player in the roster for this season was interesting, and they've managed to keep their strength with the new player as well. Griffith, yeah, just a strong roster overall. I mean, both of these teams came out victorious in a best of 5 series each last week. So we've got winner versus winner. Only one can take out the win this week, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes.
Look, I think this will be a fun one. This is certainly the most evenly matched matchup we've had so far. And Griffith have a lot to prove as well. They finished second last season. They're currently sitting in 6th at the moment though, so they kind of need a win here to get back to the position they'd be expecting.
Yeah, definitely. Would have expected Griffith to come out hungry for the win this season. Nobody wants to come second. Like, coming second's rough, but against a team like UNSW, you can't really blame them. But I was certain that they were going to come out all guns blazing this season. But yeah, to see them in 6th position is quite a surprise.
It is important to mention that they have taken on UNSW though, so that is always rough. They did get swept though. I mean, the whole reason they are in 6 is because they got swept, and then the game they won against UCID was in game 5. So worst possible score to be 1-1 in the leaderboard. So a lot to make up for here.
Yeah, definitely. But I guess that does concern me a little bit because you can't be slacking against a team like UON. I think UON are going to come out really strong this series. I would like to think that this is going to be go into game 5. I would like to see this series go the full length. But I think if any team is going to shut the other down in this series, I think UON is going to come out potentially the stronger team.
I think they've looked really good. I mean, they had that big reverse sweep against QUT last week. That was impressive. We saw how good QUT are earlier, taking out the win there. So we'll see if they can keep it up, if they can prove that that is their level consistently.
Yeah, exactly. And game sense and skill and mech is one thing, but to pull off a reverse sweep, you really need to have a strong mental as well. To be in the 3rd game and to fear that you're about to be swept and manage to turn that around is huge mentally. So I think that UON really do have, UON, I'm going to mix up my letters here, really do have that factor about them.
And look, UON are getting more of a warm-up here. Griffith are taking a bit of time to get ready, so that could potentially affect game 1. We'll see.
Yeah, not the best sign. Not the best sign at all, but again, we've talked about this in the past. I think it's kind of almost expected with Uni League, with High School League as well, when you've got players who are balancing classes with maybe part-time jobs as well and that kind of thing, and then coming home on a Wednesday night to play Rocket League. I'd expect that they don't always necessarily have much time to warm up. So yeah, can't blame them for that.
You're too nice. I'm still blaming them. They've just joined. So look, maybe I'll back off a bit, but we'll see. I think the start of the match, you could say it's important. I mean, it normally is, right? Who takes the lead in the series? But we've just seen so many reverse sweeps that you really gotta stay on your toes till the very end.
Yeah, definitely can't let the guard down. Can't. Especially with some of these teams, that there's teams that will adapt well, that will change their tactics mid-series where they need to. I think there's players in this league who are very talented. There's players in this league who are very experienced. So yeah, you can never get too relaxed.
No, not quite. Looks like the players getting close to being ready to go. Should be fun once we get started. It's going to be interesting for Griffith as well. I always like watching Ultraviolet. I think he's been very exciting to watch on this roster. And then on UON side, I think Eminence has really brought a lot of life to these guys, just how aggressive he plays.
Yeah, definitely. I have to agree with you there. Have really been enjoying watching Eminence play. Obviously, coming into this season, was unfamiliar with him. I don't know if Eminence has played too many other tournaments or anything or competed much, but personally hadn't seen much of his playstyle. So I was really interested to see him come into this and just, yeah, really, really had an effect on this roster.
It's looking good. We're starting out the match now. Game 1, best of 5. UON almost win the kickoff, but goes straight to Ultraviolet, who will kick things off for Griffith.
Ball getting lost in the corner now, but we're going to see a shot from AEL. Gets blocked by Eminence, that player we were just talking about, who has been really clinical to this roster. Doesn't quite get the touch off the wall there, but Bud there to collect the pieces. Going to see a whiff out of Azora as well. Ball just getting lost in the midfield of them.
Maybe some nerves for both sides. Already a bit more back and forth than you'd be expecting, but feels like UON It's nice passing play from everyone. Just not quite enough to get it to Azora there. The pressure continues though. Now Eminence's chance. Lots of touches here. Bud's gonna almost get it center, but does miss.
The classic Bud fake. Azora knew that was coming. Azora knew that was going to happen. Read it perfectly. Bud, we've seen Bud grow heaps as a player. I know we talked about it last week, but I feel like the Bud fakes were a little bit more prominent last season, and we're starting to see them less and less. I don't know if I'm disappointed or not, because I'm glad to see that he's playing a lot more tactically, but God, I miss the Bud fakes.
Bud's been super solid. Certainly a big factor in their win last week. He stepped up in a big way. Certainly Eminence is the exciting new player, but you're right, plenty of growth as well from both Bud and Azora, but that's a big miss for Eminence. Doesn't go punished though.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, actually, I was having a bit of a giggle when the match was starting. I don't know if this is something you guys have pointed out before, and I've just like, it's just completely escaped my notice, but Bud's tag, Blossoming Bud, like, I love that. I love that so much.
I love that's new. I haven't noticed that before. That's creative.
Maybe it is new, actually. I feel like I would have noticed before, but honestly, attention span short. Sometimes I miss things, but yeah, definitely a very tactical tag.
We'll see if he can continue to blossom in this series. This is a very tough one. We said last week against QT was tough. I feel like this is just as difficult. Starting out, neither team able to get on the scoreboard just yet.
Yeah, kind of surprising, but I feel like I expected this series to be tight, but I feel like both of these teams have the ability to play really aggressive, maybe more so than their defensive efforts, so I expected it to be tight but higher scoring. I thought we were going to see a couple of like 4-4 needing to go into OT kind of games, but both teams to be keeping each other out defensively now is a huge effort.
It is good. There's Azora pinging it to the other side. Ultraviolet takes their time. Now here's Bud. Not able to get quite the touch he was after. Griffith really struggling to get out of their half right now.
Yeah, definitely Ewan putting the pressure on. Getting a lot of demos down there end as well. I feel like, I do love a demo. I do love the physical play, but when you demo a player in your own defensive half, you're just letting them reset, like essentially on a full boost pad. So I don't know that it's the most tactical play, but definitely took the pressure off.
Sends a message. keeps the nerves flowing, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Seeing UON now in their half quite a lot, unable to get the ball out into midfield, just a whiff on the backboard, giving AEL a free shot.
That was a tough read. Exile just hits it so high off the roof. What I think threw Eminence off there. And AEL gets the goal.
Yeah, Eminence maybe expecting the ball to roll down a little more had it hit that corner, but yeah, definitely a tricky read, so I can't blame him for that. You see UON now going to take a shot at net through Bud, who sends it a little bit too high. No player there to read it off the backboard.
Not quite. The pressure's continuing. Zora's up. It's very awkward. UON feels like they've had the majority of the pressure, but aren't really getting those high quality touches they need to.
Yeah, I think you're right. You're definitely right on that one. But we're going to see UON now with an opportunity to take the ball down the other end of the field. AEL there, trying to read the ball in the corner, whiffs it slightly. Eminence centering the ball, Bud not there to take the shot in time though.
No, not quite. There's a massive clear to the other side. Eminence taking its time. Just resetting here, but that's a big bump. Oh, Bud was way too relaxed there and got punished.
Yeah, you got to be on the lookout for these kind of plays when you're sitting essentially solo in net. I know Azora was following up on the side there, but not quickly enough to actually be in that play, and Bud just, unfortunately, just a sitting duck there ready to get bumped.
Two disappointing goals let in the UON. 20 seconds left. They might be out of time. Although, big overcommit here. Ultraviolet's left totally alone. Eminence is going to get that center. Azora is there, but everyone from Griffith very back. Very quick to get back.
Yeah, definitely. UON absolutely out of time here, potentially trying to, I was going to say, trying to take the ball to the wall to get one goal on the board to get a little bit of momentum, but Griffith too strong in this first game, beating UON out 2-0.
2-0, kind of an uneventful game, honestly.
Yeah.
Kind of low shots, 6-3. Both teams playing pretty safe, not wanting to take too many risks. We'll see if UON amps up the pressure a bit.
Yeah, definitely. Hoping they can a little bit more than they did that game. I feel like you were right in saying that the goals were a little bit disappointing. I think they were, I guess, they were scrappy. The goals were scored off the back of UON's mistakes rather than off Griffith playing super tactically or getting a really good pass in or a solo play or anything off that. So I think if UON can polish up and not make so many mistakes right in front of net, then they'll keep Griffith out from scoring.
It's true. I don't think Griffith really forced many of those mistakes either. But both teams just really playing that midfield game, playing that low risk kind of game. So you're right. A big chance for UON to just sharpen up their defense as well to keep those chances out.
Yeah, absolutely. You see the second game already, UON off the bat with possession. Unable to get a score off the board. We're going to see Azora take a really nice little fake there. Passes the ball to Eminence. Neither player can get a shot onto net clearly enough in front of all three defenders.
Griffith are defending fantastically. Honestly, they're very quick to get back. They're not making it easy for UON at all. UON need better shots to get past the keepers.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they've had the opportunities there. They're just not, just that finishing touch is not quite there. The plays aren't quite polished enough to result in any scoring opportunities here. They're playing well in the midfield. They're playing okay in defense at the moment, but I want to see more out of them.
I want to see more too. I liked how they started off with that chance. Here might be another one, but Griffith, they're honestly getting a lot better in game 2. They're so quick back.
Yeah, they are. They are for sure. We'll see Eminence now with an opportunity, a bit of time to take the ball downfield. Gets it over one, gets it over two, but Exile back to collect the ball. Gets bumped. Honestly, credit to Bud for being there for the shot, but Eminence, over two players, getting the bump on Exile as well, just knocked out the entire field there.
Great work from Bud. Finds his opportunity. It feels like that follow-up has been missing for UON. Awesome bumps, but normally there wasn't a player there to get the finish, but this time there was.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm a massive fan of a really close, tight second man kind of playstyle, and I think that we're seeing a little bit more out of UON in terms of that, rather than having their second man sit too wide or even too deep. Third man's back. Third man can defend. You need to have trust in your teammates to be able to save the ball.
Feels like that's what UNSW do really well as well. They're just so quick to follow each other's touches. So maybe UON getting inspired.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like actually, honestly, a lot of teams, for their own benefit, to know UNSW and to be able to read their players and ultimately challenge them when up against UNSW. I feel like watching some of their games would really be to some of these teams' benefit. And even to replicate that kind of play style, I think would be really critical.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because Steve and Tata in particular are so mechanical, but there's a lot that team does right in terms of rotations, following each other. There's a lot to learn. That's another amazing demo, but no, just off the crossbar. That's a shame.
Oh, that's such a shame, but honestly, execution off by 1%, but everything that led up to that was great. UON really need to keep up that kind of play style, right?
They are back in the defensive half, though. Griffith are going to get a chance. Kind of similar to last game, not really forcing any big issues, kind of waiting for UON to make the first mistake, but UON are looking more warmed up now.
Yeah, definitely. I've been so focused on UON and how they need to come back in this series. Griffith were so dominant in that first game, but looking at Griffith now, I feel like they are a little bit confused. They're a little bit scrambled.
Oh, here we go.
Quite knowing how to read these plays. Eminence, what a goal.
This was fantastic. He was just so quick to beat out Ultraviolet for that first touch, but then was still able to follow it, get it into the goal. 2-0 up for UON. This is a great spot for them.
Dare I say that kind of goal against UNSW would result in a goal. That kind of shot against UNSW would result in a goal against any team really in this series. Sorry, in this league. Yeah, Eminence really showing how much of a threat he can be.
Showing what a great pickup he's been for the squad. Showing a big reason why UON are on top of the leaderboard right now, but they gotta win here to maintain a top 2 position. Let's see if they can do it.
Yeah, definitely. ADOS
Great
with
pass.
a pass though. Perfect pass to Ultraviolet. There was no saving that. Perfect positioning on the pass. Massive power on the shot as well. Just, yeah, 2 players in net. Can't get to that in time.
What Griffith has been missing. You could see how far back UON were because they were just focused on just playing solid, just making sure they're ready to absorb that pressure. So right as UON over-adjusted, Griffith, beautiful pass play to punish them.
Yeah, definitely, and it's such a hard read to make as well when you're sitting in net. Not only because of the power of that shot, it was 135 k's an hour, but just when there's a solo play, if you've got a player trying to execute a solo play and they're not overly mechanical, they can't, get a flip reset or something that's going to change the direction of the ball. I think the next best thing are those team passes and those team plays, because you don't know if the pass is going to hit the second player, you don't know if the first player is going to shoot, you don't know the direction that the ball is going to go in as well. It completely changes course. So I think a lot more of that will result in many more goals this series.
That is what I'm expecting to. Here's Eminence looking dangerous. Gets the goal as well off the back of Azora, flying in. That should confirm game 2 for UON. We've got a series on our hands.
Yeah, absolutely. 17 seconds. I've seen 2 goals in 17 seconds before, but not when you've got a team playing the way UON is currently playing. They've stepped it up massively from that first game. They're showing how much of a threat they are. They're showing why they are one of those top teams. And Griffith just scrambled right now, trying to fight back for this. They really need to change something up in this third game.
We'll get to see UON take it out. Both teams will get a bit of a breather before going into game 3. Feels like both teams stepped it up in that second game as well. It's exciting to watch.
Yeah, definitely. And, just looking at the stats, it goes to show how put on the back foot Griffith were. We've got 7 saves compared to UON's 1, and I feel like that was the story of that game just then. It was UON taking shot after shot, putting passes on, just, it's massive solo plays and things to put those shots on net, and Griffith were, 7 saves goes to show that they were really pushed back into their third man position then.
Yeah, it really didn't feel like it was that dominant, but I guess Griffith weren't really finding those shots. It's what we've been talking about. Their offense just hasn't been as deadly as it really needs to be, but whereas UON, they really stepped it up and got 3 goals as a reward.
Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't call it dominant possession-wise, but in terms of execution, in terms of clinical gameplay, I think UON were really showing off.
We got game 3. It's just game 2. Maybe the Hudson one. Pretty sure this is game 3, right? 1-1?
Yep, 1-1. 1-1 game 3.
Admin's not happy I'm calling him out. I'm so sorry.
How could you?
Look, 1-1. All tied up. Important game. First team to win here. First to match point.
Yep, absolutely. It'll be tricky. I feel like, honestly, I would hedge my bets on UON taking this out right now, not because of their position on the leaderboard, but just how they've shown how they warm up into a series like this, how they show how they can come back when they're a game down, is really telltale of their performance right now.
You're right. That was great mentally for them as well. We see a lot of teams crumble in that position, but they got better and better. But that's exactly what happened last week as well. You can't reverse sweep without that kind of attitude.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Very, very strong mentality or mental play out of these players. Bud with a massive beat over AEDOS on the side wall there. Again, I feel like I'm raving about Bud, but he's just come so far since last season. I feel like there's been so much training that's gone on in the background. You know, we're not seeing a lot of training go on for a lot of these players. So that's really testament to his dedication to the game.
And it's showing rewards. Like top 2 at the moment. Looking in a good position here. But as we say that, it is still tied up. Tied up 1-1. Tied up 0-0 in game 3 as well. As this timer ticks down, this first goal will be very important.
Yep. Feeling a little more like our first game where I don't think we saw a goal until the last little bit of that match actually, and then the floodgates kind of opened a little bit more, but yeah, still tied 0-0 with half a game left is yeah, a huge difference to last game.
Oh, it completely opens up. It's similar to last game what we saw as well, just that pass into the middle. Eminence way too defensive, just waiting for that shot, and Ultraviolet makes it absolutely unsavable.
Yeah, for sure. I think any other shot I would have said Eminence was kind of sitting in net a little bit too stationary there. You kind of want to sit back post so you've got momentum going into the save, but even sitting back post was not the right decision there, and already Griffith responding with another goal really would be rattling UON right now.
Massive mistake from Azora, and Bud, I think, demoed and then had no boost. That's rough. That has completely stopped all the momentum UON had after that last game win.
A series on our hands we definitely have. I spoke too soon. I was almost thinking after last game it was all over for Griffith, but they managed to strike back, and again, speaking too soon, we're seeing UON strike back in retaliation with a goal of their own right now.
Too easy. Too easy. They get it back. Just the aggression that feels like we have been missing a bit. Felt like UON kind of went back to game 1, kind of safe offense, but couldn't afford that anymore. 2.5 minutes left. Griffith gonna extend the lead off the kickoff. Ultraviolet ready to score off this really nice setup from ADOS.
This kind of duo play between ADOS and Ultraviolet makes me it actually kind of makes me think of Mac and Jacko. I feel like they manage to tee each other up really well, and it's the kind of team play I expect out of ADOS and Ultraviolet as well. We've seen in previous weeks how they manage to create those plays, and we're seeing it a lot more in this third game now.
Oh, ADOS almost getting another goal. That could have been the nail in the coffin, but not quite. Still 2 minutes left. Plenty of time for UON to get a comeback, but they will need a goal soon to keep Griffith on edge.
Ultraviolet, had he had a bit more boost there, it was a perfect touch to go up into the air for that aerial, but we're seeing some of the players as well, I've noticed, get caught out with low boost, and that kind of boost awareness it's obviously very critical to high level play. And yeah, it's not something I feel like we've seen out of these teams in recent weeks has been that kind of loss of that sense of boost, but had a few touches out in this game so far.
Feels like UON are very much on the back foot. Griffith playing really well to maintain pressure. Have a quick look at the stats, and do not lie, way more. 9 shots to 2. Griffith absolutely in control of this game.
Yeah, for sure, and definitely wanting to hold on to that lead as well. They haven't relented. We see some teams when they've got a lead like this, we've seen them kind of park the bus and sit further back in defense, but Griffith just absolutely ruthless right now, not easing off the pressure at all on UON, wanting a 4th goal, hungry for it, can't get the pass off though.
Good, they're preparing themselves for the next match, because this is clearly working. UON on the back foot, can barely touch the ball at this point.
Barely touch the ball, can barely breathe even, I feel like. Griffith's just suffocating them right now in offense. We've seen the ball go back down Griffith's end, but managed to retain possession really well and keep control of it until I actually said that. But ball's gone loose to the corner. Eminence with an excellent smother. Can't keep control of the ball though.
No, not quite. Here's ADOS with an air dribble. Ultraviolet. Great challenge. Keep that out. Ball hits the ground. Griffith, a pretty dominant Game 3 victory. First team to match point. Pressure is back on UON.
Absolutely. Pressure on UON to stay in this series, to not lose their streak, their undefeated streak so far. Pressure on Griffith to fight their way up the ladder as well. A lot on the line for both of these teams, and going into Game 4 with Griffith being up will absolutely be scaring UON to, having to change up their style a little bit.
Look, we'll see how they respond. UON in Game 2, they responded super well. Feels like back and forth. It's certainly UON's turn, but the scary thing is they don't have any chances. They have to, and they responded to the pressure very well last week, completing the reverse sweep. They don't quite have to do something as fantastic, but their back is against the wall, and if they want to win, they're going to have to do it twice in a row.
For sure. It's do or die right now as we go into this fourth game. But if there is any team in this league that I believe can fight back after such a dominant loss, I guess, or after such a dominant win in Griffith in that last game, I believe it is UON to do it.
Well, let's see. We'll see if the start of the match can be indicative. Already, Griffith is starting out very aggressive, picking up exactly where they left off the last game.
Yeah, exactly what they're needing, but UON holding their own somewhat. Eminence pushed back to third man in defense a little bit. I feel like that's something we missed last game. Was in the first couple of matches, Eminence was able to push up into offense a lot more and be super aggressive, but we're seeing him pull back in defense a lot now in that third man role. UON needing to be careful with their rotations, I guess.
That's a good shot. Not quite. Not quite a goal. UON will be happy with that. But keeping the ball going forward, he's going to land right next to the ball, actually. Zora, that is super awkward. He gets bumped as well. Oh, UON leaving a bit of a cap there.
ADOS almost with a double demo as well. That would have been devastating if we'd seen that. Eminence putting the pressure on, gets the smother on Ultraviolet as well. We're going to see Bud go to the wall, get the pass off. Perfect center, but no teammate there to collect.
Quite. Exile, nice touch. Here's Bud. Now, passes over to Azora. Azora keeps the ball going forward. Exile. Great pass to ADOS. ADOS, no boost. That would have been a beautiful double touch, but he doesn't need it himself. Ultraviolet with an insane finish.
Yeah, perfect. Must have been some good comms there as well. Or Ultraviolet recognizing that ADOS did not have the boost and would not be able to follow that up, so managed to get there himself to follow the pass. And yeah, put Griffith up 1-0 with about 2 minutes left to go.
Pressure is on. UON backs against the wall. They can't afford to lose this. What will they bring to the table? Feels like they've played their best when they are in that aggressive flow. This is a great opportunity. Eminence is there as well. But so close to the dunk. Eminence gets the turn and he gets the goal. What a finish.
Great turn off Eminence there, and props to, yeah, I guess to land so cleanly, or to not fall out of control there as he turned on to take that shot on net. He's stumbling a little bit, but yeah, massive effort from UON to keep themselves in this game.
Absolutely awesome play coming out. ADOS, big dunk. This is actually looking real sketchy. Azora has to clear out. Has a lot of boost, actually. He's going to set himself up for an air dribble. He's over 2. ADOS gets the clear to the side.
Almost an opportunity at a double there. We're going to see Ultraviolet with an opportunity. No boost as well. I think had he had just the slightest bit of boost and was able to almost reverse a little bit in the air, or boost backwards to not go so high, that could have been a really nice double.
UON. Oh, there we go. Bud with the pre-flip. That is clinical. Bud takes the lead for UON.
That is huge. Again, testament to the training he's been putting in. That's the best goal I've seen out of Bud. That has to be. I mean, he had some decent goals last season. But that has to be the best goal I've seen out of him.
He had to be so accurate to get that, and not just the skill it took, the timing of it. How crucial that goal is to keep them in this series. But already you can see Griffith. They're playing so quick. They're looking to get this quick equalizer. There's a demo. That's kind of open, but Bud's there. Holds things together.
And Bud with the knowing he has all eyes on him right now. How can he respond after such an incredible goal? Massive touch off Eminence to set up Azora in the midfield, but yeah, too heavy of a touch to be able to get the pass off the top there.
UON looking very confident though. Playing very quick. Here's Azora with a pre-jump. Not letting Griffith out of their half too easily, but this can backfire. This can lead to overcommits.
Ooh.
Exile, great ceiling pinch, but doesn't quite lead to anything.
And definitely not having that second man ready there for the pass is a missed opportunity for sure. We're going to see Ultraviolet manage to collect the full boost pad, but just a little bit awkward. Can't manage to turn around in time. Massive touch off Azora as well to center the ball into the midfield. Can't get the shot off though.
No, not quite. Azora sets himself up. Griffith's playing so quick. They know what they need to do to get this equalizer. They're playing so much quicker, but it may have backfired here. Eminence with the long shot. Exile is back just in time. Bud backflips. The speed might be getting to everyone. Ultraviolet, that's a beautiful pass, but Azora cuts it out.
AEST there to collect the ball as third man as well and keep the pressure on UON in their own half. Seeing a pinch off the sidewall there, result in the ball going down Griffith's end. Eminence with a shot as well, but can't get it on.
Azora with the bouncer. Not quite. Now Exile. Over to Azora. Back to Exile. Getting each other's way. Maybe getting a little too desperate. UON just need to wind the clock down. This might backfire though, but that's a massive clear from Bud. That's what they needed.
Absolutely, but ball in the air, still a little bit of time. Ultraviolet censoring it in front of net. But nonetheless, would not have changed the result of this game. UON fighting back in Game 4. We're going to Game 5, Jake.
Going to Game 5. How else? UON. They're used to this. They seem to play their best when their back is against the wall. I'm not sure how they do it, but we'll see if Griffith can match it.
That's definitely a rare skill to see, is to play at your best when you're under the most pressure, but nonetheless it seems to work for them quite well. Given how dominant they have been this season, given they have gone undefeated. But yeah, this is... I love being able to make a prediction on a game, and this is one of those series where you don't know what's going to happen. I feel like if this was a best of 7, you know, we'd have Griffith win the next one, then UON, and then Griffith again, potentially. Or if it was a game 9 or a game 11, it's just going to keep going that way. It's one after the other. This game 5, I don't know what's going to happen, Jake.
I think it changes things. You're right. I mean, I'd probably favor Griffith as well, best of 7, but we'll see who has it better in terms of managing their nerves. This final match.
If it just came down to managing nerves, I would absolutely say UON, but Griffith are just, yeah, they're playing really well under pressure this series, and we've seen them crumble before, but tonight seems to be their night where they're just on point with a lot of their plays.
It'll be close. Griffith started out strong, had the first big chance of the match. Almost the second there as well, playing very aggressive. But here we go, it's just Exile back. Zora to Bud. Bud went for the demo, it didn't matter.
Yeah, Eminence putting the pressure on as well, gets a lovely touch off the sidewall, sets himself up for a double, maybe a pass, but no teammate there again to be able to take the shot. Exile taking the ball downfield as well, gets blocked by Eminence, who gets blocked by AEST. Playing a bit of ping pong right now, the ball just going back and forth between both teams.
Here's Eminence. Zora could be quick to that Griffith player barely getting a touch that. Feels like Griffith are barely hanging on here, honestly. That's a fantastic pass. Azora can't get it on target, but gets the second touch. Bud can't turn. He has low boost. He does anyway. Decent shot on net, but it's not strong enough.
No, we're seeing Eminence now with an opportunity. Manages to collect himself well on the roof to get an extra flip, but the ball was lost anyway. Exile now taking the ball to the corner. Tries to get a read off the side wall, but just too awkward to get that second touch.
Zora, big clear. Eminence is waiting upfield as well. Decent touch. UON feels like they're struggling a bit to find each other. Finish these semi-chances they keep finding.
Bud with an excellent opportunity for a bang there. Azora coming off the back wall. Trying to get a read on that. Probably one of the most difficult reads of the game I've seen so far. AEL taking the ball back down the other end now. Gets blocked. You see the ball loose and Azora with possession now.
Zora pushes the ball forward. Here's Ultraviolet's chance. Not able to get the goal. Zora. Tricky. Everything's very awkward right now. But Griffith holding on.
And both teams seeming to panic a little bit, which is so
that's
uncharacteristic out of UON. Nonetheless, we are still we're let more than half a game down. Not for Exile. Not when Exile is back with half a boost. Probably not going to see any more own goals.
No own goals yet in this series, right? We're not meeting our quota just yet. Game 5 OT own goal on the way.
Oh no, don't say that. I feel like that's exactly what's gonna happen now. Pastor's curse, you've just ruined this for one of the teams. Oh no. It's looking more and more likely the longer this game goes on.
It's interesting, both teams have had a lot of chances. I'm pretty surprised it's 0-0, but just all the teams just missing that follow-up, I think, to really confirm these chances that their teammates are finding.
Sure, and look at this play just then, and sorry, take it back like 10 seconds. Bud was on the offensive attack, and both Eminence and Azora were way deep in defense. It just goes to show that neither team is wanting to overcommit right now. But I think in that sacrifice or in that hesitation on the overcommit, we're losing our secondary presence.
Oh, Eminence! Oh, what a shot! And what a setup from Bud as well. Slams it into the ceiling to get the perfect pass to his teammate. Wow, UON connecting beautifully.
Crazy, absolutely crazy goal, and again speaks levels to the presence Eminence has on this team and how critical he has been to this roster coming in as a new player this season. Yeah, props on a goal like that.
Griffith picking up the base, not quite, but the follow-up is there. UON way too relaxed and just get ran over because of it.
0-0 OT with an own goal in OT. I think we're looking potentially at a 1-1 OT with an own goal, but yeah, interesting. Perfect setup for a fake kickoff right now, but neither team going for it. Eminence manages to have possession though, goes for a shot, takes it to the corner, but AEST there to read the ball.
Oh, UON starting to panic a bit. No one's there, but Azora just hits it to the corner. It's going to set up AEST, but Azora, it's another decent clear. Now Griffith are the ones getting these panic touches. Both teams feeling the pressure. Ultraviolet's going to find AEST. AEST is going to put it forward. There's a demo. Everything is working for Griffith. It's completely open, but Eminence gets the perfect respawn to keep things together.
Not that just that, but Ultraviolet and was it AEST or Exile just then? Two players completely out of boost on the offense there. There's nothing they could really do to get enough height on to take a shot at the net. But yeah, perfect positioning for Eminence to spawn there as well.
It looks like we're going to OT, although Bud misreads it. Eminence almost gets dunked. Smashes it to the other side. Griffith let it hit the ground and we have OT.
Yeah, don't blame Griffith for letting that hit the ground just then. Players without boost would rather take it to a kickoff opportunity. Seeing a shot go a little bit astray just then. Both teams panicking right now. Exile with the save though.
That was a big opportunity, but not quite able to find a hole in the net. Griffith, they're all bumping each other. There comes the dunk. potential punish, but Ultraviolet, plenty of boost. Eminence keeps the ball rolling forward. That's a great clear. So many great clears from Griffith coming out.
I was worried
Oh,
just
but
then
then a
that-
complete miss! That was almost a disaster.
Oh, there's been a couple of really close calls. Eminence, man of the match though, going for the double. Can't get it past ADOS, sitting nicely on the backboard. You're gonna see Exile kind of throw the ball away to Azora there. Center
ADOS is
potentially for
middle.
ADOS. Oh, it goes astray as well.
Not quite. Evidence, he's so quick at these spots. ADOS sets up Azora. Azora's got so much time. Doesn't get the most powerful touch though. Keeps his team in offense. Bud shoots it wide. Yoen sitting back, sitting deep. Putting on this pressure for Griffith, but Griffith have been very solid in defense.
Yeah, definitely. Griffith have been pushed back to defense, but nonetheless they've managed to hold their own and get some decent saves out of this. Now needs a touch, manages to get it upfield, but ADOS with a pretty clear possession. Great carry off the wall there.
They're a bit low on boost though. Ultraviolet's got nothing. Still gets a good 50 though. Eminence actually very awkward. Exile almost had a chance there. Oh, staying annoying. Excellent touch. Eminence is up. Staying close.
Annoying is the perfect word to describe the pressure that is being put on right now. See,
Oh, great pass! What a
Right at the
save!
front.
And the follow-up from Eminence. He is having an absolute man of the match performance, but he has to win to solidify it. Ultraviolet is up. And Eminence is there again.
Eminence fighting for Yoen's life right now, trying to keep this win streak going. It's so his performance is so
There's
the
the
result.
shot! Eminence gets the game winner! Oh my gosh!
God.
Bud with the setup. Exile caught in two minds, and Eminence a beautiful shot to win the series. Wow.
That's crazy. That is crazy. But what a shot. What a performance out of Eminence. Not just in that game, but in the entire series. Griffith just caught sleeping at the end there. You can't be sleeping when Eminence is putting the pressure on net like that. But yeah, nonetheless, have managed to keep their winning streak going. That was huge from Eminence.
814 points from Eminence. Just an absolute machine in that final match. Made a small mistake to give Griffith a chance back into the match, but wow. Absolutely made up for it in overtime. What a winner.
Yeah, I don't know who we're talking to after this, but if it's not Eminence, I need to ask how he managed to keep his composure so well in that and yeah, give off such a dominant performance. But no matter who we talk to, really, really keen to get Yoen's insight after that series.
And that's disappointing for Griffith. They're going to stay outside the top 4. They've had tough matchups. But boy, what a shake-up for the AEL. That is exciting. We'll go to a quick break. Our final match, we got UTS versus UCID, which I think has the potential to be super close as well. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. We just had an insane back and forth match, game 5, overtime to finish it. UN must be getting a bit sick of these. Must be exhausting. We got Bud on the line to hear all about it. Bud, how are you feeling?
Chilled. It was
Chilled?
Yeah. We just had. It was stressful when we got to match point. They got to match point, but I feel like chilling out, just letting things happen, and yeah, we just got it.
Fair enough. I mean, we've something we were talking about on cast during that series was just how obvious it is that you guys are able to maintain your mental when you're a goal down, or when even we've seen in previous weeks when when you're a game down, or in previous weeks when you're 2 games down. Do you think that you guys managed to maintain your composure well with comms and just when you're not in the lead?
Yeah. Or every game's winnable. Like, even if you're down in a series, we've shown last week that anyone can come back and get back for the win.
Well, what was the rest of the team feeling like? Because you're obviously pretty chill. I mean, Eminence played out of his mind in that 5th game. Azora had played great all series as well. How are those two feeling?
Yeah, Eminence, I'm pretty sure he's chill as well. Like, he was like knowing what we were doing wrong and what was to do, and then Zoro was chill as well, but he was panicking at the start a little bit because he was saying he was playing a bit bad today, but he played all right. Like, he was playing good.
Yeah, I think all 3 of you played well, and yeah, definitely Eminence had a really solid performance in that final game. But apologies, I can't remember if it was game 4 or game 5, but you had a wicked goal. You know exactly the goal I'm talking about. You had a free flip. It was kind of off the back of the ball.
Game 4.
Tell me you didn't. It was in game 4. Yeah. Tell me you didn't feel over the moon after that. That was huge.
It was just a goal. To be honest, I was just chasing the ball, and it just happened to land on me. Like, Eminence was like calling, saying he was going for it, but I was like, nah, I'm going for it. I'm chasing, and it just worked out.
It worked out perfectly. It put you guys in the lead that game as well. So yeah, huge effort.
Yeah.
Well, Bud, your top 2, only UNSW are matching you. How do you feel going into the rest of the season? You must have probably almost secured top 4 now for sure.
Yeah. Oh, we're looking forward for it. Like, every game's going to be a good game. Like, it's winnable. Some winnable. Some we could lose, but we're excited to keep going versus everyone.
Cool. All right. Well, congrats for this week. Hopefully you can make it fun again next week. And we'll catch you then.
Yeah. See you then.
Thank you.
But
I
don't buy it. I don't think they're that chill, but he can say what he wants.
I feel like it'd be hard to be so relaxed in such a tight series, in such a back and forth series, but I mean, benefit of the doubt, I think that you have to be that chill to be able to pull off a reverse sweep last week, to be able to pull off such a dominant performance in that final game as well, and to be able to come back when Griffith was being, honestly so dominant in a couple of those games as well. I think you'd have to be chill and maintain your composure.
I think it's a mixture, right? Because you can be chill. Like, not every team loves to be like hype and excited, but you still feel the stress. Like, that's a lot of tension. Game 5 OT, but they killed it. They should be very proud of themselves.
Oh, absolutely. Put me in that match and my heart rate would be spiking like 140, 150 beats per minute when it was that tight. But yeah, nonetheless, managed to run away with that win yet again to go undefeated. Yeah, huge props to them. Really strong play there.
I think we have another fun match coming up. UCID versus UTS. I mean, we kind of thought the last match would be good, but that certainly outshone my expectations. This match, I think, is great because both teams kind of have a lot to prove here. Like, UTS are new on the block, but certainly showing a lot of potential. And you said it's just always so up and down. Sometimes play great, sometimes not the best. So I think they really want to prove that they're top 4 caliber consistently.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, when you look at the rosters on paper, this UTS side I wasn't too familiar with before this season. UCID, obviously from previous seasons, from other tournaments even. Bilio, Cecilio in particular are players that, you know, do have a lot of experience and they are really strong on paper. I would hit this team as a top 4 team. But you're right, they've been iffy some weeks. They've lost their composure, they've lost their rhythm, and haven't performed as well as I would have expected. But UTS on the other side, being the new kids on the block, it's taken a couple of weeks to get a read on them, but I think they've come into this tournament guns a-blazing and really showed how strong they can be. And I think they're into cause an upset this season.
I think they'll be feeling confident. I think they're ready to knock UCID down a block, honestly. Still haven't quite figured out who the star players are on this roster. They feel like a pretty solid team working together and just playing good fundamental Rocket League.
Yeah, agreed. I think they rotate well. They just play well and gel well together as a team. I think from memory from last week, I feel like Spring Hopak managed to get a few really nice goals and a few really decent saves as well. I feel like he was slightly outperforming the other two. It's off the top of my head, but the name is really sticking out to me, and I feel like he had a really good performance last week.
I was thinking that as well. I was thinking if any of these 3 players, it's probably Spring, but then I also think it might just be because his name's a bit annoying to say. So, yeah, I think I need another week or 2 for my final decision.
We'll just go with Spring, but I guess time will tell. We're getting ready for this final series of the night. I hope everybody is enjoying the games. I know we definitely are. Yeah, I guess all eyes on Spring right now to see if he's living up to expectations.
And all eyes on Spring indeed, because he is the one player tonight who forgot to update their Rocket League game. So we have to wait a few minutes, and it's all because of him.
It's always tricky when tournament night falls on the eve of an update, and a big update nonetheless. You know, something we were talking about earlier on in the stream was one of the things that's coming out of the new update is a change to the demoing.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much of a change that'll really have. Rocket League are being really conservative with these changes because, you know, they started the game and they were like, we're going to try new maps, and everyone absolutely hated it. So then they were like, let's just not touch anything for like 5 years. So now they're coming back, but they're pretty small changes.
Yeah, definitely. It's been good to see a few new maps in recent seasons, but I have to say, they've all been really, really bright. And I don't know if you've seen the new map for this season yet, or if anyone in the chat has seen it. It's got a nice, like, I was gonna say dull's the wrong word for it. It's got a dark, kind of eerie forest feel to it. I think it's a nice change from the really super bright, super in your face kind of maps we've seen.
No, the Rocket League team do good work. It's just, of course, they kept the game going for a long time. It's been a pleasure. We still are waiting on Spring Hopak. I'm definitely going to remember his name for the next few weeks, but now it's out of spite.
Oh, that's for sure. At least we've got all 5 other players on, like, in the game right now. We can see them warming up. At least we're only missing one. One's easier to keep track of than if we had an entire team missing. So glad everyone else got their games updated. Next week, obviously without an update, things will be a little bit easier and go a little bit smoother. I say that, and we're gonna. I don't want to jinx. I was gonna say we're gonna have players running late because of sports and classes and whatever else, and anything but an update. So hopefully, I haven't jinxed us. Hopefully, next week goes smoothly.
I'm looking on the results from the last 2 weeks for both these teams. Because both these teams are sitting on 1-1, and they're very middle in the ladder. And they both have kind of had similar results. UTS lost to QUT in a Game 5, and then they took out Melbourne. And then for UCID, they took out ANU in Game 5, and then lost to Griffith in Game 5. So both these teams are very used to going the distance.
Yeah, for sure. And both losses against dominant sides, and both wins against those kind of lower sides as well. So yeah, it's kind of hard to get a read on these two at the moment. I think we're going to need a couple of more weeks to see where they properly sit, in particular UTS, as they're a new roster this season. UCID though, we have our expectations from last season. The roster's the same. We're expecting up and downs, so really I would have gone into this thinking UCID had the win, but it's really hard to tell because they're so up and down.
So what is your prediction then? You're being a bit wishy-washy here.
I'm gonna go UCID. I believe in the
Okay.
Cabilio, Cecilio, Last trio. I think. I'm calling UCID tonight. I think it's going to go to Game 5. I think it's going to be UCID.
I've been burned too many times in the past. I've been a big UCID fan, but they let me down a lot. So I'm switching. I'm actually going to go with UTS. I think UTS have shown a lot of promise. It's risky. Only seen them twice, but I'll see how we go.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Going to get our first game underway in just a second now. Waiting for kickoff. All 6 players on field and ready though, so that's a good start. That's as good of a start as we can get. Going to see kickoff go the way of UCID, but Spring Hopak already too quick to be to get the read on that.
Let's go. Started off. Elio won the kickoff. We'll see. Immediately, UTS had a great chance, but UCID's defense looked good.
Yeah, UCID as well with an opportunity down the other end. Man of the match. Man of the match we're keeping an eye on because he's late. No, not because he's late, but because he's scoring goals like this. Fakes out, makes it look like he's got the touch, makes it look like he's got the flip reset actually, but lands on the goal and takes a nice easy shot instead.
That was so cool. That was so cool. So calm and collected. Said really nice fake. And then that is not a particularly nice fake.
Yeah, that's not the way you want to lose a goal. Unfortunate there. Not the first time we've seen a quick goal like that, a quick turnaround off the kickoff. But yeah, Cecilio recognised that the players weren't going to get to the ball in time. Just a nice straight shot on net.
Super strange. Not sure what happened there. And took away all the hard work from Spring Hopak, but I guess they just wanted a more even game.
Yeah, they wanted the challenge. They wanted this to go to OT and then take the win away there. But you see Cabilio now taking possession in the corner. Gets a little bit too heavy of a touch, but neither of his teammates were really there to crack it anyway, so I don't know if that have mattered all that much.
No, not sure what's going on here just yet. After the craziness of the fakes. That's a great beat from Sai, pushing it forward, but UCID sitting very far back and conservatively in this game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I haven't exactly got a read on their playstyle either from previous weeks because, you know, we've talked about how up and down they've been. I feel like they've also had ups and downs with aggression and with sitting back in defense. They haven't really landed solidly on a playstyle like we've seen with other teams. So interesting to see how they tackle this one.
You're right. It is hard to pinpoint what to expect out of UCID. It does feel like they're very different week in, week out, which would make it really hard to have consistent results.
Yeah, for sure. Bit of a wild card, I guess. Like, despite the fact that they do have a strong roster, without a clearly developed play style, they are that wild card team.
And ETS are the new team, so hard to predict either way, but that is a nice clinical counterattack.
Definitely catching all 3 players a little off guard there. Cabilio with 0 boost as well, couldn't get back on time. Cilio actually also with 0 boost. I think he managed to pick up a single pad, but not enough to gather enough speed to get back to defense.
That was very aggressive out of UCID. Not really sure what their plan was there. Maybe not expecting UTS to be so good at pushing them.
No, definitely not. Definitely not managing to get a read on the new kids on the block just yet. But you know, we've seen last series taken as example with UON and with Griffith, we've seen games go back and forth already tonight, and I wouldn't be surprised if this ended up being the same.
I hope so. Who knows what'll happen? This game's already been a little crazy, honestly. I still can't quite get over that goal off the kickoff. But without that, UCID actually haven't been able to score a goal yet in regulation, so that could be a bit concerning for them.
Yeah, definitely. Telltale to how kind of scrambled they are seeming. We're seeing some whiffs out of UTS as well, though. But yeah, definitely UCID playing a little scrappier, playing a little bit more scrambled right now, just unable to get the key touches they need. Seeing a nice touch off Cecilio there to set up Vilio for the backboard, but yeah, Vilio just unable to get it past two defenders.
UTS defending well, absorbing all this pressure, not overcommitting, not really getting beaten to the ball either, playing really calm.
Calm's what they need right now. I think UCID, like it's hard to read scrambled play. UCID aren't necessarily putting a whole lot of offensive pressure on right now, but that doesn't mean that they're easy to read. So UTS keeping their composure and playing so calmly would really be playing in their favor right now.
UTS are really doing these goofy back passes though. I don't know what the plan is, but it does seem to be kind of working out. It has put them in this suspicious spot though. Not much boost around at all. Not on the back foot. Cabilio with the air dribble. Spring, great challenge. Neutralizes what you said we're trying to cook up there.
Yeah, really noticing as well that BkWhatOCE is, and I've noticed this in previous weeks, but he does seem to be that third man in this roster. And I think something that would really play to UCID's benefit would be to work on their rotations a little more so that they're not relying on one player in particular to fall back to third man consistently. I think having those options would definitely help them in situations where they're getting a little bit stuck against a team like they are right now against UTS.
That's a good point. It's hard to pull that style off as well. You just get demoed and then your entire defense is just completely gone. So risky. We have 5 seconds left. You said need a goal. They might actually get a chance here. Cabilio with the musty, getting plenty of touches as well. Spring almost gets dunked, but clears it out. Secures UTS game 1 win.
So that's the kind of play I expect to see out of Cabilio. Like, talking about this roster being a strong roster on paper, I know Cabilio has the mech in him to get a really strong carry up the entire field like that, gets the air dribble, gets some really, really great touches, and like you said, the musty as well. I know he has that in him, but it just seemed for that game it was too little too late.
Well, still close. Still 2-1. Certainly not UTS blowing him out of the park. So, game 2, anything could happen.
For sure, anything can happen. I mean, if Cabilio keeps up how he was playing towards the end of that game, and Cecilio as well seemed to be playing that kind of second man position a little bit tighter than they were at the start of the game, I think we're in for a better game for UCID in this game too.
We'll have to see. Clock's ticking down. Rough. UCID, we'll see if they can get the first goal. That might help them change the dynamics, just not being constantly with their backs against the wall.
Yeah, absolutely. They're not UON. They're not the type of team to perform their best when they're under the most pressure. But I think already we're seeing a lot of pressure come out of UTS. Stimpy with a massive smother on the sidewall there. But again, the ball's just gone back down UCID's end.
Double
We've got
bump.
Cabilio with the demo on Spring. Takes out Spring, who has been such a key player to this roster. Absolutely sets up that goal.
And then
Off
gets
as
the
well.
bump on Greasy, which was the big one. Completely opens the net. Gives BkWhatOCE a freebie, and they get the first goal.
Okay, so UCID have used the first game to warm up, and now they've assessed, okay, we need to be aggressive, we need the bombs, we need the demos to come out to take on this UTS roster, who are sitting in net, allowing those demos and bombs to come. Hopefully UTS recognize that aggression though, and don't let it affect them too much.
UTS had a massive chance there, but completely whiffed it. Not what they were after. But the attack continues. Bring OPAC. Keeping the ball going forward. See how defensive UCID are. Just waiting to absorb this pressure, but the shot is too good either way, even with 2 people sitting in net.
Yeah, strange watching defense out of usage just there. Cecilio unfortunately backflipped just before that as well. I feel like that made him lose his momentum, just, yeah, unable from a stationary position to jump up and get that save in time.
He's might be a bit embarrassed after that one. It's not what you're after, to be backflipping in net. And gave up the lead as well, so back to the drawing board for USIT.
Yep, definitely. 1-1. We're tied with 3.5 minutes left. We've seen it plenty of times tonight. We've seen teams come back from this. We've seen reverse sweeps in prior weeks. So anything can happen, and especially when you've got 2 teams who ultimately, despite the first game, I would still call these teams a little bit neck and neck.
I think so as well. Very close. Certainly could go either way. UTS still feels like they're the ones in a bit more control, certainly with a bit more chances.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. UTS really, really showing that they're a threat in this competition. They have in prior weeks, and they're not letting that go this week. Spring, a massive touch off the sideboard, goes straight to BkWhatOCE, though, who gets a really nice touch off the wall again, smothers Stimpy, still manages to keep possession, gives it to Cabelio, but Spring already on the backboard, clearing up.
Yeah, big statement here for UTS to take out this win. With 2-1 in the standings. Show that they're a serious contender for top 4. If not, going 1-2, especially losing against teams you're close to, where those tiebreakers matter so much, would actually be a very big deal in a few weeks when all that's relevant.
Oh yeah, absolutely. How many... there's 8 teams. How many weeks in total is there? 7?
7, yeah.
4 weeks? 7 weeks and then finals. Okay, so we play everyone once and then go into finals based off the back of those results. Interesting. Okay. So every game is do or die. Every game really does matter going into finals. So yeah, you're right. If UTS manage to win this, that's huge.
Yeah, every game matters, but it's especially important when you're up against these like middling teams, because a win here and a loss for the other team is a massive swing when you're battling for that 4th spot. Or just tiebreakers, because tiebreakers against your closest competition are massive. So I think this could potentially be a very important series down the line.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's almost a tiebreaker happening right now. We're like pre-finals right now, trying to work out who's going to go up against likely UNSW in the finals. But yeah, I think anything can happen. Massive block there from Spring.
No one wants to be 4th either, because then you get seeded straight against UNSW in the first round. So it's even more important. You need every single point you can get in the AEL, and that is going to help with that. Greasy just sits middle, waits so patiently for Stimpy, and Stimpy finds him beautifully.
Yeah, great read from Stimpy there. I feel like that one was definitely all in the pass. When the ball goes as high as it did just then, right in the corner, it's hard to gauge where it's going to go next, but just a nice soft touch to get that centered was perfect.
Well, good touch from Greasy. He gets bumped though. BkWhatOCE to the side. Spring over him as well. BkWhatOCE gets the bump as well. Massive effort here. Gets another bump. But Stimpy recovers, gets a massive clear. Might even get the counterattack, but Cabelio's back in time.
Almost had the shot on himself after all of that defensive effort. Cabelio now with the ball, pinches it against the ground, no boost, not really much else he could do there. Spring with the center though, perfect shot from Stimpy. That is as clinical, classic Rocket League as it gets.
That's fantastic, isn't it?
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Wasn't even the best pass, honestly. Stimpy really made the most of that, cutting across the field, and still got such insane power on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Not too much USID can do right now. Got less than 20 seconds left. A shot on. Had that been on target, we may have had a different story. We may have gone to an OT with just one more goal, but running out of time, Jake, without a quick goal right now and the kickoff goal, we're out of time.
UTS are looking good. On to match point. We said this could be a close match, but we're one game away from a 3-0 sweep. Unless UCID can step up.
I'm eating my words already, calling out UCID as the winner of this one. We talked about them being really up and down, and I did have higher expectations, even if it wasn't a win necessarily. I expected the kind of match we just saw against UON and Griffith. I expected a back and forth. I expected UCID take out game 1, and then UTS take out game 2, back and forth, but UTS just really dominating UCID right now.
UCID is struggling. Only 1 goal in each match. One of them as well was that weird kickoff goal. So they're struggling to get points on the board.
Yeah, definitely. They're not setting themselves up very well for good offensive plays. They yeah, like I said, that one awkward goal at the start was off the back of a UTS mistake, not their own, UCID's tactics. I'm gonna say a shot on net though. Spring, just defender of the world right now.
Oh, and then an insane save as well from Greasy. UCID really should have scored there. They just did not play aggressive enough, did not take their chance.
Oh.
Even that shot's gonna go wide. This is so disappointing to watch. They're keeping it up though. Very dangerous backboard, but UCID, they're just too far back. They're just not there for each other's setups.
Yeah, that's a real shame. Not 1, not 2, but 3 opportunities went amiss there for UCID. They could have scored on any 3 of those, catching UTS off guard without boost, but they're just unable to execute on their shots right now.
Right. Delia is driving around a bit confused. See? UCID still struggling to connect, it seems.
Definitely, we are seeing some confused play. I do think that's a great way to describe a lot of what we're seeing right now. Some Sunday driving going on without any real destination.
Sunday driving.
It is, but yeah, not from UTS though.
Oh no! Oh, that sets up Stimpy. Stimpy had no boost. No, you're right. UTS are looking clean. Like, even look at that. The back pass, the spring OPAC. The flip reset is the follow-up. No, but Stimpy was there. Feels like the big difference between these two squads right now. Belio gets an awesome flick. Spring's actually in a lot of problems here. He actually misses. What a save from Stimpy. What was that?
Oh, UCID are putting their all into some of these shots right now, and just yeah, UTS just so clinical in defense. We're getting demos out of UCID as well. BkWhatOCE taking out Breezy, but just to no avail. Can't get a shot out of that.
No, this gotta be frustrating for them. Here comes Stimpy. Flies through. Greasy's actually middle, and it sneaks under the UCID defender. That is heartbreaking. UTS first on the board.
Yeah, and that can't be good for UCID's morale right now. They haven't had too much momentum in any of these games so far, and to be 1 goal down to let UTS take the lead, first goal of the game, is really not good for them.
No, it's not what they're after. BkWhatOCE might get a chance here, but it's another ridiculous save. What are UTS doing?
Clearly been working on their defensive training packs, clearly on the saves.
Oh,
and the blocks!
Finally, UCID break through. I think Sai saved his own teammate's shot here. No, it was off the post. Never mind. BkWhatOCE super quick. Still barely past the UTS defender, but it was enough.
Enough to keep UCID in this, enough to equalise the score, just maybe prevent a sweep if they can score again before UTS do, but UTS just, yeah, we're talking about how clinical they are in defense right now. Each player has managed 2 saves each, so there's not one player in particular, and that's speaking to, you know, we talked about UCID's rotations before and how BkWhatOCE is sitting back in third man. It really speaks levels to UTS doing the exact opposite of that, because all 3 players are playing defensively.
We'll see now. All tied up. Less than 2 minutes to go. Remember, all the pressure is on UCID. This is game 2 already. All UTS need is one more goal in their series. Probably that.
Absolutely, but UCID are still putting up a fight. We've seen some, I was actually wanting to point out just then some really great touches out of BkWhatOCE. Managing to keep control of the ball really, really well without banging it away. We all know that ball control can really do or die in some of these games, especially when you're on the verge of getting swept.
Sometimes when you're feeling a bit flat as a team, you do need that one individual to just step up, just bring the life back into everyone. So, happy BkWhatOCE here.
Yeah, I definitely think that would be really key to UCID, would be, yeah, like I said before, not to have BkWhatOCE sitting so far back in third man position in defense, and I think we've seen a little bit more push from him this game. I think it is testament to UCID equalising the score of the
40 seconds left. Yes, starting to set up some pressure now. Sai misses. Everyone kind of misses. UTS, it's actually kind of open. It's only Kabilio. He gets to clear out, but UTS keep the ball in their half.
Massive bump from Greasy on
no one's
BkWhatOCE
home.
just then. No one's there. Cecilio is going to take a shot, and UCID, for the first time in this series, are going to have to leave.
Everything fell apart here. A sloppy double commit there. Sai just gets the perfect dunk. Sets himself up. Get the open net. 16 seconds left. Can UTS get a kickoff goal?
Yeah, we've seen it in other series how much of a detriment it can be when a team is up by 2 games in a series and they just kind of let the ball drop a little bit because they're comfortable. They're about to sweep. They don't need to do anything too drastic. But if they don't, right now, UCID is going to run away with this game, and a sweep is not going to happen.
It's not looking good. This ball, it's in UCID's possession. They're going to drop it. They're going to take game 3. Are the reverse sweep alarm bells starting to ring already?
Yeah, a concerning game for UTS there. I feel like it's hard to say because they were playing similarly to how they were playing the first 2 games. They didn't really change up their style much. They didn't really, yeah, their defensive effort was huge that game. I feel like it was just on UCID really bring the pressure.
UCID certainly stepped up. I think you're right. UTS, they let their foot off the gas pedal. They were really winning through their offense, but this is what happens to teams. They feel too safe. They feel like they don't have to take those risks they were taking to be in the winning position in the series, and then they can start to drop the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't let it drop when you're about to sweep. I feel like you want to sweep, but again, we've got the perfect setup for a fake kickoff. I don't know if either team is going to go for it. Not quite. Not after the kickoff goal we had that first game. I think that may have caused a little bit of fear in UTS.
UTS already starting to go for some desperate challenges and now missing as well. The pressure is getting to them.
Yeah,
UCID on the other side, I mean, they're looking so much better.
100%. 100%. Managing to get a lot more, many more shots off, managing to keep the pressure in offense a lot better than they were the first couple of games. BkWhatOCE was an excellent carry, but unfortunately the 50 just perfectly setting Greasy up for a shot.
That was excellent from Greasy. And UCID, I mean, I was going to compliment them how aggressive they've been, how they're following each other's plays, but they overdid it. They were way too crept forward, all 3 players in UTS's half, and the big dunk just takes it all apart.
Yeah, a little bit too much confidence out after winning that last game potentially, and maybe a bit of a reality check that UTS will capitalize on mistakes like that. So you see, I've got to be really careful here.
UTS is suddenly playing so much quicker. Confidence has come back after that goal. Setting each other up, getting the good touches. UCID aren't slowing down either. That was a great cut from Sai. Might not matter. Here comes Simpy. It's censored. Touch from Kabilio to slow things down, but Spring had the open net. The save is there though.
Yeah, both teams with their foot pressed down heavy on the pedal right now. Full acceleration, not wanting to let any slack result in a goal for the other side. See Stimpy with a massive pass down center, gets a touch off, gets it over Cecilio. Spring with the center in the corner. Cabilio there for the save though.
Big clear to the other side. It'll set up Greasy for an equally clear. Big clear the other way. Stimpy off the corner to Spring, and Spring sneaks it in. What a shot.
Massively tight shot right into the corner of the net there. Oh, straight through Cabilio. He had all the other side of the net to shoot at, but no, wanted to put it right in front of Cabilio's nose. Yeah, putting UTS up 2-0 already in this game.
Spring was so quick to that as well. So fast to it, perfect finish. Big play from him. Get the lead a bit more comfortable. See what it's done to UTS. Playing so much quicker, connecting more smoothly. UCD are gonna have to find a new level.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, still more than half a game left, but UCD just really scrambled again, like they were at the start of this series, just unsure of how to challenge UTS and how to counter them right now. UTS just, yeah, you're right, putting the speed on so much. Pass now to Spring. Can't get it past Cabilio though.
Right. BkWhatOCE, that what a pass!
Ooh.
Straight down to Sai's nose. That is beautiful.
Yeah, Cecilio there, perfect shot, shoots it low, sees Stimpy on the backboard, knows that if he shoots it high, Stimpy's got a chance of saving that, but not if he shoots it.
That was sick. That was awesome. They've kept themselves in it. Now just a single goal, 2.5 minutes, plenty of time left. See how UTS responds. Oh! Oh! UTS respond with almost an immediate goal.
It looked like UCD was slowing down there because I expected that was just going in, but yeah, almost an own goal as well, just bouncing off the corner of the net there.
Not quite able to bring Hope back. Almost. Not quite. Ball's a bit stalled here in the midfield, but it feels like it's favoring UCD. Pressure is still on for them. They still do need a goal to stay in this match.
Still one goal just to equalise, just to take this game to OT
No
and
one's in
give
net.
themselves an
They
opportunity,
missed.
but
What?
what just happened?
Where did everyone from UTS go?
He was up the wall. Someone went for who just went for boost? I can't
They
see.
both did.
Stimpy just went for Stimpy and Spring both just went for boost. Everyone was boost starved and just decided to go hunting for big pads.
That is...
When you're being pressured in offense like that, not the right time.
No. Up by a goal with just 1.5 minutes left as well. UTS, that is a serious mistake. They almost get the long shot to get their lead back, but it's not going to be that easy.
If UTS end up losing this series, I think that one play there is going to be what will sting them about this series, because that was just not an opportunity they needed to give UCD. Even the first goal missed, and the second, that was, just not what UTS needed right now.
I know, that was a crazy miss. I mean, it was so open, they could completely miss the open net and still score. Well, here's a great chance. Stimpy was so quick, but hit it into the defender. Follow-up's not there either. UCD connecting. Oh, that's a big demo. Gonna set up Stimpy. This is super awkward for Sai, but he gets a touch.
Yeah, I feel like we can kind of see how it's affecting UTS for a second there. They seem to kind of lose their composure. Panic a little bit after that goal. You'd be kicking yourself. You got to not let it get to you for too long. You need to keep your composure. You need to come back, and just like that, Spring has done that exactly for UTS with 23 seconds left.
There's a good fake. Stimpy completely misses the ball. Was like literally not close, but distracted Cabilio enough. Spring able to find the goal, and with 23 seconds left, they're in the driver's seat. Here comes a fake kickoff. Working. BkWhatOCE gets the free touch. It's awkward. Clear is there, but there's 15 seconds left. You said pressure is still on.
Oh, Cecilio as well with the shot. I feel like if that had a little bit more power on it, UTS would have been way too awkward on the save, but we're going to see the ball go down the other end. Something has to happen right now. We need to keep the ball up. You said it's do or die. They're going to run out of time, though, if they don't get this back down the other end right now. We're seeing shots out of UTS. The ball's still up, though.
Oh, Stimpy gets the block. UTS take down the series 3-1. What a statement.
What a statement. You're right. These boys are here to play. They're here to solidify themselves in this tournament, in this competition, as one of those top 4 teams, as a strong team. And yeah, taking down UCID is definitely a statement for that.
Well played indeed. Well played from UCID as well. They certainly brought things back when they were looking pretty bleak. Didn't get 3-0'd, but it's not enough. UTS take him out.
Yeah, a few mistakes towards the end of that, and maybe a little bit too much time to warm up in their detriment there. But yeah, nonetheless, a massive win for UTS.
What a performance! That again, it's tough to pull out a star player. Like all 3 of them had a massive role in that. I think they just work really well together as a team. Super solid, super aggressive as well to get those goals when they need to. They're going to be a force.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm keen to see how they go the rest of the season against the rest of the middle pack to see kind of where we can position those, you know, the maybe 2nd place to 5th place kind of teams. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they perform.
Keen to. It's been a good day. Lots of close matches, except for UNSW, but that's to be expected. It's yeah, that kind of felt like it should have gone to Game 5, honestly. That was a close one.
Yeah, definitely. Especially with a couple of mistakes out of UTS at the end there. I was expecting UCID to capitalize, but UTS managed to hold their own and not get too rattled by their mistakes. So yeah, testament to their gameplay there.
So here is the summary of today. QT taking out ANU and UNSW taking out UOM. All very expected. But then, man, Griffith losing. That was something else. UON showing that they've just improved in such a big way. And then UTS showing that they are to be taken seriously. New team on the block, taking out UCID. They're looking good for a top 4 finish.
Yeah, definitely got the opportunity for it. And yeah, that 3rd series as well, I think that was kind of the series of the night for me in terms of Griffith versus UON. UON going undefeated so far. Griffith taking out 2nd place last season. It was hard to call, but I think UON just definitely showing that they were the better team on the night.
UON didn't even make the top 4 last season. They came 5th. It was heartbreaking.
Yeah, right.
It was rough. And it feels like we're going to have a similar situation where we have 5 very good, very close teams, and someone's going to have to miss out. It's not going to be pretty.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it'll be tricky to break up that middle pack, but keen to see how things unfold as the next few weeks go on.
All right, well, we got an interview with Spring Hopak from UTS. Spring,
Hey
how are you
guys.
feeling after the win?
Yeah, pretty good. How you guys going?
We're good,
Yeah,
man.
good. Enjoying casting your games.
Oh, I appreciate that. So I love you guys as casters, to be honest. Like, you guys make it so much better.
Oh, I appreciate
Thank you.
you. Maybe you should show up on time next time then.
Yeah, so I just come from training and I was like updating the game because my mates are like, oh, there's an update, and I was like, is there actually? And that just took forever, obviously, because new season. So that's on me.
That's fair enough. We expected a few delays tonight. Usually there are on nights where there is an update. There's always someone or always multiple people who forget, so I wouldn't blame yourself too much for that.
Yeah.
Got the win nonetheless, so congratulations on that.
Thanks for that. Yeah. It was pretty close in the end. You know.
Yeah. What were you expecting going into that series? Because UCID can be a good squad.
Yeah, I mean, the first 2 games went our way, and I was like, I was really just waiting for something to like, just switch and like them to like turn it off. So I was like, game 3, they really locked in and they ended up taking it. And I was like, yeah, we have to actually just lock back in and just like give it our all this 4th game. And so that's why, yeah, I feel like in the end, we had that like better chemistry at the end. And we're just like, I don't know, I guess more locked in than them.
Yeah, it definitely showed in the fourth game. Do you feel like you relaxed too much in the third game?
Yeah, I feel like so when we get our lead, we just relax too much. So we have to tell each other, to log back in and not take it that easy. Because then again, we're all like Elite Series teams, so it's going to be tough. It could go either way.
Well, next week's going to be particularly tough up against UNSW. How do you feel about that one?
Oh, I'm very excited for that one. I'll be here like 30 minutes early as well, just to prepare for that one. Like,
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, of course.
I'd love to hear it. They're gonna be a tough team to play. Any particular tactics? Have you been watching them play? Is there any way in particular you think you want to challenge them?
No, so not particularly, but I have played with them previously, those people. So, and we all have played together, so we know it'll be like a tough match. And I guess it'll come down to, which team works better together to play against the other team, because it's a team game. So if we're going to play better than them, like, we might take it, but we really just have to see and feel out each other's, tactics and see how we counteract whatever tactics we have on board. So could go either way. I really don't know.
All right, well, thanks for hopping on, Spring. It was good to chat to you, and good luck next week.
Yeah, thanks for that. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right, he should feel proud of his team. That was honestly a great performance.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, to recognize like relaxing too much in a game 3 and recognize kind of how that affected them, and then to bounce back in game 4 and come out of the gate swinging is I think really good, and it shows that they are going to be really strong in this competition.
I think that's exactly what you said about them in the game 3. So they're you're locked in. That's always the best thing when the players agree with you as a caster.
No, definitely. Except we're going to ignore the fact that I thought UCID was going to win that one.
Oh yeah, we can ignore that.
I pretend I didn't say that. No, it was definitely all about the other calls I made. No, but I really do think that could have been a lot tighter had UCID been playing at their best. But if they're playing anything under 100% and UTS is playing at their normal, it's just, yeah, you're right. That was definitely going to go the way of UTS.
It's interesting though. I don't think UCID played too bad, honestly. I actually think UTS played really well, and I'm honestly pretty excited to see how they go. Even next week against UNSW, but that might just be me coping because I just want to see someone do well against UNSW.
No, I think they're in for a decent shot. Like we've already seen this season. Who was it that UNSW they dropped a game, didn't they? By no, or are they completely? They've swept so far. They've swept so far. I'm thinking of last season clearly. But there you go. Last season, it wasn't that long ago that they have dropped games. It was later in the season. I think UTS could be the team that takes games off UNSW, let alone maybe even a win off them early in the season instead.
Here's our updated ladder, and I think this is reflecting pretty well, at least how I would roughly power rank these teams as well. Griffith's certainly struggling to replicate their top 2 success from last season. You can see just how close that battle for the top 4 will still be.
Yeah, definitely. And the teams at the bottom of the leaderboard at the moment, UOM, they've had a tough run coming into this, and then to come up against UNSW today is a difficult ask. It is very, very rough. ANU haven't had the nicest run of competitors either, but I think we definitely can see more out of them. Am I surprised that they're not top 4? It's tricky to say. I think they don't have the consistency just yet to be top 4, but who knows, as the season goes on, some of these teams can cause a bit of an upset.
Hazza brought a lot to the squad. I'm certainly excited to watch more of him. They've also been able to pick up a few wins. I mean, 3 game wins despite being 0-3 down in series. It's pretty good. And then kind of the opposite for UON. They're sitting pretty undefeated, but they have lost 4 games to get to that point. Just back-to-back best of 5s have been very exciting for them.
Yeah, definitely agree. Plenty more weeks to play out this season. Sorry, 1 second.
Was a puppy dog.
Puppy dog barking in the background. Yep, telling me off for sitting at my PC all day and not giving her any attention. It's a Wednesday. I'm going to be here for a big day. But I'm excited to be here for a big day because I wouldn't want to miss this kind of competition.
No, AEL is always very fun. Always delivers in a big way, and is always just unpredictable. But yeah, couldn't be possible without our sponsors. Morgie, do you want to quickly thank them for us?
Yeah, of course. Like Jake said, would not be possible to have this amazing of a competition without the help of our sponsors. So of course we have AGON by AOC, the gaming monitor partner, who provide the best in-class monitor solutions for gaming and all of the needs. And of course, we're hungry. We cannot forget Indomie, our noodle partner, made with high quality flour and select ingredients and spices. A plate of Indomie mee goreng will certainly brighten up your day. Try any one of the flavors available today from your local grocer or of course at indomie.au. I think I'm gonna go get myself some noodles right now. I'm hungry after that.
Yeah, no, they're a staple in my kitchen as well.
Oh yeah.
Cannot go wrong. Cannot go wrong. Also, just make sure you've made it to the end. You must be enjoying the AEL, so make sure you follow them at AU Esports League to stay up to date on all AEL events, competitions, and activations. So don't miss anything. Be able to follow them for that.
Of course.
All right. Well, I think that is it for tonight. It's been a fun one. Anything else you want to close out with, Morgie?
No, nothing out of the ordinary. Again, just another fun week. Looking forward to next week. I'm sure there's going to be plenty more action, plenty more close series. Always looking forward to a close series. So, yeah, thank you for having me.
Great. Well, we'll see you all next week then. Enjoy your week, and we'll see you for more AEL action.